Check mic, check mic. Check mic, check. Mic check. Check mic. Mic check, check mic. Mic check. Mic check, 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 mic check. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're all looking good, even under the nose mask. Please, a round of applause. Can we put our hands together for ourselves? All right. I've asked us to clap for ourselves because we're timekeepers. And it's quite encouraging. Anytime I go for an event, I always like it when people are actually punctual because I'm of the opinion that it's high time we stopped the whole African time mentality. And the way we can do that is to ensure that an event starts the time that we've allotted for it to start. All right, so good morning once again. My name is Oluwatosin, I know, and I'm also known as the corporate MC. And I've been privileged to be the master of this ceremony. Please, a round of applause for me. Put your hands together for me. Thank you so much. All right, so I've come here today to do something really amazing, to have something worth, commenting, because actually we're in a time where there is no better time. Honestly, there is no better time to be doing this than now, because we know what the world economy is looking like, and information is what? Is power. Information is power. And we're here today to celebrate information. But shortly before we go into that, I would like us to have a little icebreaker, so we can ease the tension in the room. So first thing first, please, if you're sitting at the back, would like you to move forward. Kindly do that. Now, this mic is the wireless mic, which means that I can come to your seat. And I realize that not everybody likes speaking into the mic. So if I ask us to do something and we're not doing it, I've been given the privilege to move into the crowd and engage us. So please, can we all move forward? Those that are sitting at the back, move forward. Or are there names allotted to this seat? Okay, how many seats are reserved? All the seats are reserved already. Oh, wow, amazing. That was nice. Okay, I didn't know that. All right, so if you're trying to use the restroom, you can just talk to the protocol members outside. The restroom is just by your left. Just go down the left to use the restroom. So straight to the icebreaker. I'm just going to go around now, before we dive into the event proper. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Wow, you are using Chelsea nose mask. That sends a lot of message. What's your name, sir?
My name is Larry.
Well, Mr. Larry, it's such a privilege to have you here. What are your expectations for today's event?
It'll be nice to see the book. It'll be nice to read some excerpts from the book. But more importantly, it will be nice to hear what are the driving thoughts that the book is pushing. I'm an author myself, so I'm looking forward to seeing how the book can help extend the frontiers of the knowledge around agriculture as a business.
That's beautiful, Mr. Larry. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Larry. Can we put our hands together for Mr. Larry? That's an amazing one. See, one of the things that I feel it's like I said when I started, it's actually long overdue. Well, there's going to be a lot of talks today. There's going to be a lot of talk around agriculture, technology, digitalizing agriculture, and much more than just coming around to show support for the author is that we go away from this event today with tangible info, with tangible, workable information. So that is why we have pen on every table. If you can see, we have pen, we have a note where you can take things down. So you have things to take away. All right, so quickly now, I'm still going to ask someone from this side. I mean, this is a very, very cheap question. Yes, I actually give gifts when I'm out on events like this. For people that came before 11, I have a gift for you. Put your hands together for me now. Thank you. For everyone that came before 11 o'clock, I have a personal gift for everybody, and it's going to go around now. So how are you doing? Good morning.
Good morning.
You're looking beautiful, ma. What's your name?
My name is Bidemi.
Bidemi. All right. Mrs. Bidemi or Miss? Oh, wow. Your smile is cute, Miss Bidemi. I'm a mister myself. I mean, all right. So what's the name of the book we're here to launch today?
The Rda Book.
RDA for Rda
Agriculture.
Rise of Digital Agriculture. Please a round of applause for Ms. Bidemi. The Rise of Digital Agriculture. All right. Yeah, I have a gift for you. Don't worry, the gifts are coming in very soon, and it's definitely going to go around. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good.
All right, what's your name?
Joy.
Joy. Wow. You're radiating joyfulness, actually. What's the name of the author of the RDA?
Akin Alabi.
Please, a round of applause for Joy. Akin Alabi. Wow. Nice. How many of us remember this song? It happens to be one of my favorite songs when I was still in school. Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀, iṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa, ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ á máa jà. Am I the only one that knows that song? Hey! Put your hands together. In fact, kò ì pé o, kò ì pé o. Put your hands together for him. Let's put your hands together for Prince. We're still going to be introducing ourselves properly. We're still going to call names of and I appreciate everyone that is there. So I don't want to jump the gun. But you want to tell me that there are only 2 people here that know that song? Or we are trying to, because it's corporate farmers, we don't want to show the true, well, they are digital. No, that doesn't mean that. Then when it's time to, get into the work and get your hands dirty, you have to be ready to. That's the whole point of corporate farmers, right? The ability to, blend, to have a blend of the two. That's nice. So if you don't know that song, raise your hand now. We're going to teach you now. Thank God there's Byron and Jota in front of you. If you don't know the song, let me see your hands up. Just one person. Just one person is raising it. Okay, 2. I can see 2 hands. So automatically, everybody else knows the song. Is that what we're saying? Everyone else knows the song apart from those 2 people. Right, put your hands together for this beautiful lady over here. Put your hands together for her. Can you sing the song for us? What's your name?
Memunat.
Memunat. All right, can you sing the song for us, Memunat? Remove your nose mask. Don't worry. Don't wear hair. Feel free.
Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa, ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ á máa jalè. Ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́ àti àdá kò ì pé o, kò ì pé o.
Put your hands together for her. So you mean you need the song and you did not sing along the other time? Amazing. All right, if I hear you don't understand Yoruba, let me see your hand, because I realized that, of course, we have people from the East. Okay, let me see your hand. Wow, nice. So I'm going to interpret that song so that we'll know the meaning. The song says, Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa. Farming is, amen? All right, Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ níṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa. And I passed English in school. Major vocation in the country. Okay, I was looking for a much more simpler and very straight to the point. So farming is our culture. Thank you. Farming is our culture. Ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ á máa jalè, and he who doesn't work eventually is going to do yahoo yahoo. Eventually is going to do cash up. Then ìwé kíkọ́ láìsí ọkọ́, reading without practicing agriculture is not yet efficient or complete. So that's what the song is all about. Kò ì pé o, kò ì pé o. So the song has a powerful message, and I feel I don't want to. We're still going to touch all these topics today, so I don't want to open them up. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're starting officially right about now. We're going to be taking the national anthem. We're going to take the national anthem before we go to the welcoming of guests. Please, I would like us all to be on our feet as we take the first stanza of the Nigeria's national anthem. Please, a round of applause for that lady wearing green. Can we put hands together for her? Can you step forward, please? Thank you so much, ma. Step forward. Put your hands together for her as she step forward. She's representing not just Nigeria, she's representing the green in the green, white, green. Put your hands together for her. She wasn't expecting it. That's going to be happening a lot in this event. Keep your hands together. You're going to lead us in national anthem. Don't be afraid. Wow. Wow. All right, don't worry. I'm a man of multiple talents. I can sing too. So the first stanza of the national anthem. 1. Compatriots, Nigeria's call obey to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor years past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Let's put hands together for ourselves and have a seat. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to officially welcome us all to the launching of the Rda Book. That is the rise of what? Digital agriculture. So this is going to be a conversation on agriculture and technology, which has been abbreviated together to agri-tech. So we're going to be talking about agriculture and technology a lot. And in fact, if this is a book that every household should have. Trust me, this is a book that every household should have. Many of us then, okay, I'm tempted to preach because this podium is giving me a pastor kind of vibe. Amen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to make welcome some people right there before I bring up the author of the book, Mr. Akinlabi, for the welcome address. All right, just a minute. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please, I'd like us to, of course, jam our hands together for Mr. Bolaji Akimboro. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Bolaji. Thank you so much for joining us. No, I was just recognizing you, sir. All right. Also, in the same vein, of course, a round of applause for Mr. Akinlabi, the author of the book that we're here to. I love this, your green suit. How many of us love this? I mean, I'm loving it so much. Just be careful because you might leave this event and before you know what's happening, we've already taken over the suit. All right. Also, okay, we have Mr. God help me with this name. We have Mr. Ibrahim Megari. Thank you so much, sir. It's a privilege to have you. So I hope I got the, thank you so much. All right, let's make welcome to, in the same vein, right here, the Commissioner for, of course, the Commissioner for Agriculture in Lagos State. Ma, it's a big privilege to have you here. Thank you so much, ma, for joining us. You're looking out, this is the first time I'm meeting you in person. I've always been seeing your picture. You're looking so much younger in person. Thank God we didn't meet in the staircase. All right, please, let's also make welcome Prince Ade Ajayi, the co-founder of Corporate Farmers International. Thank you so much. It's a privilege to have you here. Let's make welcome, I think Mr. Samson is around already. Mr. Samson Ogbele, thank you so much, sir. Mr. Samson Ogbele, in case you don't know, is from Soilless Laboratory. Their lab does not have soil. I know you are now wondering, how do they grow stuff? Send him a DM. He's going to explain to you. All right, we also have here Ayola Fatono. Mr. Ayola Fatono. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Ayola Fatono is the head agric insurance, lead assurance. Thank you so much for joining us. We have in the same vein Bidemi Ogedengbe, the founder of Farm Tribe. Thank you so much. She's doing so well, actually. She's one of the youngest farmers that we have in this hall today. I've known her for like 2 years now, thereabout, and she has been doing actively well since when she was in university days. Also, please let's make welcome Neka Ogo. Neka Ogo, where are you? Oh, you're trying to be, please a round of applause for him. Thank you so much. It's a privilege to have you here. Okay, so by the time we come back next, I'll be able to touch on them because I want to call names of people that I'm certain they are around. So ladies and gentlemen, to give us the welcome address, please make welcome the author of The Rise of Digital Agriculture, and that's no other person, also the co-founder of the Corporate Farmers. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Akiala. We keep jamming our hands together for him till he gets here. It's a beautiful work he has done in the book. Trust me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Whoa, let me remove this. First of all, I say good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for honoring me to be part of this great event, which actually has been a pipeline for the past 5 years. I was telling my Oga, Mr. Fatuna, that look, what you see here has been the pipeline for the past 5 years. So it's not just a project I've put together last year, no. It's been in the past 5 years circle to get where we are today. But nevertheless, I'm going to do my welcome address like this. Sorry, I have to read because I'm a little bit nervous because, but I'm not even nervous again. But I want to show that I'm getting it right and ensure that we are projecting the right statement into the ecosystem. Well, I will start like this. I began my journey into the agricultural sector over 2 decades ago. This was when I started a blog called Corporate Farmers. Now, it was a dynamic tool that was used to share agricultural articles, research work, and write about agricultural innovations from young agripreneurs and major stakeholders across Nigeria and Africa at large. Now, today, this same blog has transformed into a multi-billionaire company with combined efforts of my co-founder, Prince Rda Ajayi, our directors, and our partners across the world. Now, 5 years ago, I knew it was a time for a shift in the agricultural sector, which I began to note down. So with this, I knew technology was going to have a major vibe and a major shake in the ecosystem. And I know digital technology was the way forward. So then I began to study, research various works from various international institutions across the world. Then in 2020, the coronavirus pandemic struck the entire world. And its effects was highlighted the need for farmers and all stakeholders in the industry to do things differently, think differently, and work differently. And that means we are getting this book at the right time. Nevertheless, we have to now familiarize ourselves with the new ways of doing things, more or less what we call the new norm of doing things. And technology is the major tool we would need today, or we use today, for thrive in our business. On the 15th of January, 2021, just about a few days ago, IITA published an article and called it Integrated Digital Tool for Agricultural Transformation in Africa. Similarly, on the 25th of January, the president of AFDB, Akiumi Adesina, in one of the programs he just held recently on a climate adaptation summit, said, and I quote, "We will roll out the first digital agricultural financing facility for Africa." At that point, I knew this book was coming at the right time. Now, what have we done at Corporate Farmers? Now, we are at Corporate Farmers International in partnership with the Chartered of Stockbrokers and, of course, the Lagos State government. I've developed an e-learning platform to change narrative and also to change the mindset of young agripreneurs to now start seeing digital agriculture as a new baked beans in the entire sector. Now, what we've created is quite dynamic because it's quite encompassing as it brings in younger folks, stakeholders, and everybody across the entire ecosystem. And we're working tirelessly in ensuring that we launch out our e-learning platform come first quarter 2021. Now, in chapter 24 of my book, I wrote a particular piece for livestock farming to support the federal government or to give an initiative, ideas to the federal government on how they could properly adopt and manage the livestock industry. And I'm glad that my Gary is here this morning that will also share some light into that particular field of the industry. So what I've written is probably some adaptation of what my Gary has done and some other stakeholders in the entire industry. Now, most importantly, what you see here today is an effort which I've put together with appreciation to people that I've worked with, people that I know, and people that have stood with me in times of laugh, smile, and troubles. Well, my first appreciation goes to my parents. So my mother is not here today, but my pastor is here. He knows her very well, for giving me the guidance to go to school and to gain knowledge. Also, my beautiful wife, she's on her way here actually, as Barrister Busola, for the love and for staying with me throughout the years of marriage. And also to my two children, Sean and Naomi, in which their joy has kept me pushing harder to build a legacy which I have never been privileged to have. Then to my senior colleagues in the industry, they have took their time to review this book with me. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Ayola Fatono. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for your time to review the book with me and to see how this book will help change the narrative of the entire ecosystem. Mrs. Bukola Awusonya of Sterling Bank, she couldn't make it here today because she has to be out of the country. And also DBC Araba of AGRF in Kenya. I want to say thank you to everyone that reviewed the book with me. Also, to my co-founder and friend, brother, partner for 15 years, Prince Rda Ajayi Agbeloba of Africa, as well known. I love you more than a brother. And the entire team of Corporate Farmers International, you guys are amazing. Thank you very much. And my super RDA team, you guys put this together for me. I appreciate you, even when you know that my table is all filled up, but you took your time to work with me in terms of delivery, commitment, and passion. Thank you very much. And this team is led by one of my very founders, young entrepreneur in the industry today, Shimon Kuyemi. Thank you very much. I love you. And to my leaders and elders in the industry, because I have leaders and I have elders in this industry, I say thank you for your guidance and for your love. Finally, I want to say a very big thank you to one person, and that's my mentor. I can say it anywhere, Mr. Bolaji Akimboro. It took his time to forward this book for me. It took his time to read through this book for me, and it took his time to mentor me throughout my career path in life. Mr. Bolaji Akimboro, I want to say thank you very much for your guidance, for your love. I appreciate you, bigally. And also, to my very wonderful, beautiful, well, personally, I call her the Wonder Woman of the agri sector. And that is the Honorable Commissioner of Agriculture, Lagos State, Abisola Olusoya. I want to say thank you very much for always listening to me anytime I call upon you. Always not say this guy while I too much. And always stay inside by my side. I'm promising me that I'm going to be here today. I want to say thank you very much. God bless you, and I appreciate you. And also, bossy number 5. I see him at the back there. Thank you for your time, for coming. He called me last night, so he's going to come. I said, well, let me just cross my fingers because I know his schedule. Thank you very much. And everybody that came, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I love you. And please, please support us by buying our book. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Another round of applause for Mr. Akialabi. All right, so maybe I didn't mention earlier, a lot of people are actually joined online from different parts of the country and of the world. If not for Kamala's busy schedule, she was meant to join us online, actually. But his husband, Oko Madam, is going to be joining on her behalf. Please, a round of applause once again. So to our online viewers, we are with you, you are with us, so drop comments. We are reading your comments. We can see your comments. So, and we'll have a session in the program where we'll get to just engage our online participants. All right, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be bringing up to present a poetry performance. This lady I'm about to call, she's quite renowned when it comes to poetry and spoken word. We met in couple of events, and let me just wait for her to come and blow our minds. Ladies and gentlemen, please jam your hands together for Memunat Ali. Put your hands together for her as she comes up for our spoken words presentation.
Good morning, distinguished gentlemen and ladies. My name is Memuna Ali, also known as MY Ali. I'm a spoken word artist, and this is a spoken word on the digitization of agriculture, titled The Dream of Agritech. Permit me to be an Infinix ambassador with these words: the future is now. Because I no longer want to bask in the glory of my past, dream away my present, and ride on an uncertain boat with tomorrow. Dreamers are many, but achievers are few. And this is because some get lost in the cloud while gazing at the sky, but afraid to leave the ground. And others keep waiting for tomorrow, forgetting that the future starts now. I've played the rhythm of my silent thought numerous times, but standing here with different gazes from the crowd, I would say it out loud that the future of agritech starts now. The old, the axe, the cutlass have fed our generation for years, but would our food production needs still be met if we bask in the glory of this farm implement? It's no longer a matter of abinibi. It is now about sustainability, food availability, productivity, and profitability. And the ultimate goal of every farmer is to feed humanity. So what then would happen in 2050 when there will be over 9.6 billion people to feed? The dream of agritech, the agritech dream with the sparkle of technology is the dream. A dream that focuses on the reality of enhancing farm practices. A dream that proves over and over that agriculture is more than farming. A dream that proves over and over that agriculture is more than farming. The digitization of agriculture is no longer an illusion, because a time would finally come when farmers intelligence would take over. It's no longer magical because the world is evolving and agriculture should not remain stagnant. It's a step-by-step green race of revolution that has no ending but breeds impact. So let's rise above our own uncertainties and embrace the embodiment of a colorful future. A future filled with farmers who sit back, relax, and equipment run around. A future where farmers would close their eyes and drones become the eye of the farm. Monkey the chop, bamboo the walk, make farmers the walk, make robots the chop. A future where farmers would no longer get lost because we have GPS settings keeping us on track. So let's rise above our own uncertainties and embrace the embodiment of a colorful future. The world is big and there's a huge gap between two things. A wide gap between the rich and the poor. A wide gap between the city and uncity people. So it's up to you and I, city people, to break the degradation that comes with the perception that farming is old-fashioned and meant for old people. We shall rebuild, reshape, restore to help bridge the gap. We shall rebuild, reshape, and restore to help bridge the gap. We shall reclaim the perennial prestige attached to our heritage. Together we shall plant transplants in the hearts of many. And the goal of agriculture would finally be recovered. Thank you very much.
Please a round of applause for her. Wow. Wow. That was a wonderful one. Very beautiful. I feel like just offering my clothes and entering farm now. I'm serious. I just want to start owing and doing something. Hey, that's true. That's true. So we borrow me tractor. All right. Once again, a round of applause for Memuna Ali. I wish I can do what she does, but the only thing that rhymes in my mouth is aspire to acquire what you desire. When you are tired, you refire, and then you see the fire. Put your hands together for me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure that I bring up on stage the Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture in Lagos State, Mrs. Abisola Olusanya. Please a round of applause for her as she comes to say.
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I actually didn't know I was going to have to say something, and obviously there was no plan for it, but this is happening impromptu. I'm glad to be here once again. I'm seeing some faces that I haven't seen this year, and I'm happy. My brother Ibrahim Megari, Mr. Bolaji Akimboro, these are the two people are obviously Prince from time to time. So I'm actually happy that this is the opportunity this year for us to meet, even though we're chatting last night and this morning. So it's a wonderful thing to see everyone here alive, well, hale, and hearty. We know what has transpired in the last 1 year. In fact, I don't know whether to say 1 year or in the last 13 months, but for us all to be here, it's to the continue to stay safe, keep safe, wear our masks, sanitize, and hopefully, God willing, we should make it through to the end of the year and see many more years to come. Now, coming to this book, or before I get to the book, I think I need to talk about the gentleman here. So he said something like, maybe I say, Aki, your wala is too much. To be honest with you, Aki has timed my waking up routine. He knows that I'll be awake maybe shortly before 4 or just a few minutes after 4. 4 a.m. in the morning, Aki is already sending me messages. And I'm like, Aki, show me. Are you monitoring me? Are you a monitoring spirit? We're already chatting as early as 4 a.m. So the first time I had met Akin was at the our Lagos State Agri Summit, which we had held September 11, 2019. That was the first time. I just saw a gentleman in a turtleneck with a black suit, a black jacket, blazer, trousers, and then Prince. And I was like, Shepherd boy wrong, play Steve Jobs. I mean, what is with this turtleneck of a thing? That was the first time I met Akin. And then subsequently, Akin would show up, corporate farmers and things like that to the office. And my first opinion was, what is wrong with these people, Seth? Why are they always coming here and things like that? You know, I didn't take them serious at first. But there was something I noticed, which is what a lot of us don't have, which is the quality of persistence and perseverance. We assume that to be successful, you just have to do things in a big way at once. But one thing I noticed, which is actually something I have also picked up from corporate farmers, from Aki and Prince, they are very persistent. They do small things, but they keep doing it. You see Aki on the Twitter handle, Facebook, whatever blog, whatever it is, he's always putting out information there, pictures with this person, you know, giving feedback on certain things. And then the next thing, you see Akin taking a picture with Akin Umiadeshin, and I'm like, how did Akin achieve this? Me, if I've not met Dr. Akin Umiadeshin. So it just goes to show persistence is key. People would notice you with time. The next thing I'm seeing him, Rice Africa, Ibrahim Megari, they are having events when hey, Akin, you're leaving me behind. This is not what we planned. And then his collaboration with the ministry has been phenomenal. There are projects we are working on targeted especially at children, between himself and Prince. And he did something, both of them did something that blew my mind away and actually was in line with the kind of dream that I had. What we have in Nigeria, what we have in West Africa is backward agriculture. I'm very sorry to say. And when I mean backward, the world has moved million miles forward, but we are still stuck in the dark ages. Anytime I go to an event now for the ministry where we are interacting with farmers and we are singing, I don't sing that anymore. I change it and tell them, not in this generation, not in this lifetime. It is not Iwekiko, Laisi tractor, Ati plow, Ati harrow, Ati drone, Kotikpe. And that's the honest truth, because when we are still propagating this without Oko and Ada, how would we achieve food security? It's impossible. You are talking of beef, cattle, Lagos being the largest cattle market in Africa. We are still doing it in a very rudimentary form and manner. Myself and Mr. Megari, we've been having these discussions as far back as 2019. Animal identification, tracking, coaching, logistics. even the way our meats are sold, everything around regulation, licensing, so much is to be done in this field. And the amazing thing is that our youth are not totally or fully aware of the opportunities that are here. So to work with people like Akin, to work with people like Prince, it's actually very refreshing. When you come to my office and you see young people there seated with me having discussions, it's always mind-blowing. I was in the office yesterday till almost 7 p.m. working on our ministry website, a new website. We need to put information out there. He's also going to be working with us on that, because on that website, you have Agric Kids. We've discussed it. They are working on cartoon edition series, talking about the different opportunities in Lagos State and for our kids to know about agriculture. You'll be seeing it very soon. And to be honest with you, I was blown away with what Akin and Prince had done and their team. And I believe that there are so many other wonderful opportunities out there for us to explore. I see this as a long-term relationship. That's why I felt like it would be a sin not to be here today, because these guys have done so much within a short space of time. So I just want to encourage us, the youth. We need to get involved in this sector. And the honest truth is, it's not just about patriotism. It's not just about food security or enhancing food security. There are billions of dollars, trillions of dollars to be made in this sector. If there is one sector where it is like a gold mine that never ends, or like, what do you call it, fountain of eternal youth, it is agriculture. There is money to be made across the entire value chain. Agriculture is not just farming. Agriculture is from input supply to the production itself, to the storage, warehousing, logistics, marketing, supply, distribution, whatever it is, across the entire chain. That is agriculture. But like Dr. Akin Adesina always says, it's no longer, it is agribusiness. Until we begin to see it as a business, we will not change our ways. So I implore each and everyone here, if you are not in this sector, please join us. There are wonderful opportunities and there's a lot of money to be made. So to Akin, to corporate farmers, to everyone here, it's a pleasure once again to be here, and I wish everyone the best. Please enjoy the book, read the book. Even though you see digitization and it looks very techy, it's very critical, because you'll be amazed at the opportunities that will be unearthed for you to actually come into the sector. So God bless you once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Please, a round of applause for the Honorable Commissioner once again. Wow, a lot has been said. So if you are here tomorrow like this, I'm no longer a corporate MC. You see me and you call me, I won't answer you. I'm a corporate farmer now. Let me start saying, honestly, I'm a corporate farmer. And I want to mention something. One of the things that Mr. Akalabi is doing that I'm really, really so excited about is that there's this Sean and Naomi International, where his kids have a farm, and then they give us updates. If you don't know about it, in fact, I think they should have a YouTube channel now. Do they have a YouTube channel? Not yet. Yeah, I know they have an Instagram channel. Let them have they have an Instagram channel. I saw it on Instagram. Let them have a YouTube channel so we can be watching them there. You see how they're working in the farm, very small, and they're ready. And I'm so impressed. I felt like, why did I use my youthful days? What did I do when I was young? All right, so, and meanwhile, I noticed the correction, because you already sang that song earlier. Thank God you're not. Maybe you have flogged me. We already sang it earlier. But now she has given us an edited version. Like it's a tractor. Round of applause once again for the Honorable Commissioner. Thank you so much, ma'am. And one of the things that she emphasized is that you need to get the book. She went on and explained how agriculture has left where it used to be. One of the reasons why we, in this part of the world, like she said, sadly enough, and we are not moving with the trend is because we don't have the information. People are not enthusiastic when it comes to knowing more. They feel like, oh, old time, give us the old time religion. They feel like there is something, if you have not suffered, you are not yet a farmer. I think that mentality needs to go. And then people need to embrace information, because there are a lot. A video trended recently, sorry to just mention it, where, I don't know how many of us saw that video, somebody was trying to remove the rim of a trailer. So a Chinese small girl, she just pressed one button, ping, ping, ping. The stuff just removed itself, and did like this. So they now showed a Nigerian organizer jumping under their stuff. I mean, so it is information. It's not about working hard these days, it's about working smart. A round of applause once again for Honorable Commissioner, for that. So right about now, for our keynote speech for today, this is my mentor's mentor. What do you call your mentor's mentor? Mentor Raj. Grand mentor. Yeah, grand mentor. And to take the citation of Mr. Bolaji Akimboro. Please, a round of applause for Ifedayo to come and take his citation. Put your hand together for her.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like Mr. Bolaji Akimboro to stand on his feet for recognition. Bolaji Akimboro, Chairman, Viro Corelli. Bolaji has created opportunities and businesses in the public, private, and non-profit sectors. He was responsible for executing the Growth Enhancement Support Scheme, GES, for the federal government of Nigeria under Dr. Akinwumi Adesina. The program enabled the disbursement of fertilizer, seed, and other inputs worth $1 billion through more than 5,700 agri-businesses to over 14.5 million rural farmers via the wallet system. I'd like us to give him a round of applause for that. This project helped to stabilize food prices in Nigeria for over 5 years and doubled the income of rural farmers. Bolaji replicated the deployment of this technology in other countries such as Liberia, Afghanistan, and Togo. He co-founded Cellulance Corporation, a fintech business with a presence in the 15 markets across Africa. With his experience in FMCG, international non-governmental organization, and technology, he provides leadership and governance to the Rda Corelli operations. Join me as I welcome Mr. Bolaji Akimboro.
Thank you very much. Let me remove the mask. The name is Rda Corelli. We came up with it deliberately to make it a tongue twister. I want to start by saying good morning to everyone. And I want to say thank you to Akin for inviting me to give the keynote address here today. On a lighter note, when I was coming from Abuja down to Lagos, I was really thinking about what was I going to wear. And interesting enough, Ibrahim, you are the one that came to mind. And I said, I'm going to kind of dress like you when I was coming. But I was scrolling through the wardrobe. I saw this jacket. And I said, oh, wow. This is the Dr. Additional jacket. That I will wear the Dr. Additional jacket here. Because the money that I used to buy this jacket, it came to me because I went to represent Dr. Additional at an event. And the government of Nigeria gave me an allowance to go for that event. But because I had to rush very fast for that event, there was no time to pack clothes. So I arrived in London without clothes. And they said, no, don't worry. We are government of Nigeria. By the time you get everything will be ready. So this, so this was the jacket I wore for that event. So I said, I will wear my Dr. Additional jacket for you. That's the first place I want us to start this conversation is what's my job this morning. My job is to lay the foundation for everybody else that will be talking here today so that we can support the distribution of this book and the impact of this book. This book should be part and parcel of the curriculum in agriculture and in the sciences in our university. And I like what the Honorable Commissioner said, that even the language that we use to describe our aspirations in agriculture is wrong. Because we use the language of primitiveness, but we should now use the language of futurism so that our agriculture can move, not at the speed of our muscles, but at the speed of our mind, because there's a difference between the two. And that's what has kept Africa behind. Africa moves at the speed of sweat, but we should now move at the speed of our mind. And it's very, very different. So one of the important points is that this book enables you as a student, as a policymaker, to move at the speed of your mind. And it's a very important point. So this is a very special moment for us as a country, as a nation. And this book is coming at the right time. COVID-19 taught us a lesson. and it taught us the importance of digital. Because who could have thought a day will come that it will become normal for us to say, let's have a meeting over Zoom. Because prior to COVID-19, the way we understood having meetings was that I must come to you physically. But now, even somebody that has a shop in a market understands the language of digital meetings. So the world has now changed. So the question is, how quickly will that change penetrate and affect our agriculture? And this book attempts to lay the foundation that the moment is now, the time is now. So the core message of the book, which is my third point this morning, is that the book is fundamentally about transformation. That's the core message. As you read it from the first chapter to the last, the thing that passes across is the message of transformation. And the essential idea and message is that we can take agriculture to new dimensions if we deploy technologies and if we deploy digital. And what the book has done is to save the world in general and our country in particular the trouble of going around searching for the information that you need to adopt and to think about technology and to put it together in one place. And for that, I can say thank you very, very much. Then I move to what I will call the part to inspire. The way we think about agriculture in our country must change. A lot of people do not know that agriculture as a segment and as a share of our economy is actually larger than oil, is actually larger than banking, is actually larger than telecoms. But when you listen to the lexicon and vocabulary of our young people, and you ask them, what do you want to do with your life? You will discover that majority of them might say, I want to be a star at Big Brother Africa. I want to be the next Lakon. And that's a good aspiration. That's a good aspiration. But the question is that the aspiration that everybody should aspire to? Are you with me? You know, so we now need to kind of expose agriculture to the world properly. It's a segment that in our country alone, it's $100 billion segment. So you begin to imagine that agriculture as a segment can support so many billionaires. So many billion, not in Naira, but in actual dollar terms. It's like what I say to people that our agriculture sector in Nigeria, if you don't know it, can actually support $50 to $60 billionaires. You know, each one of them having a net worth of about $2 billion each. So if such an opportunity exists in our country, why don't we have the fire burning that makes people say, oh, wow, what do you want to be in your life? I want to be an entrepreneur in agriculture. And that's the second message you see in the book, which is the message that I'm trying to pass across, which is that agriculture used to be our past. Then along the line, we forgot and we did not make it part of our present. But all of us together in this room now, we're now leading a movement to make agriculture our future. And that's what I want to pass across as my fourth message, which is this book allows us to replicate what was in an old movie many years ago. There used to be a movie they called Back to the Future. So we are not going back to the future, but we are stepping into the future through this book. So I will not spend time talking about why as our agriculture not move forward. There's no need for that. But what I want to talk about is that the elements of this book that allow you to kind of enjoy the book as you read it. When you think of an agriculture, because people talk about the economy, but there's something that is important in our country that we should call the agri-economy. You know, that is an economy that derives its potential from agriculture. Because in our country, Nigeria, we must create a new economic system. Because part of the reason why the Chinese did what I call the largest mass lifting of poverty in the history of man on earth in the past 20 years, more than 400 million people. There's an opportunity for us to perform what I will call the Nigerian miracle, which is the largest mass lifting of people out of poverty on the African continent. And thank God the Commissioner of Agriculture, Lagos State, is here. You know, because Lagos is a mega city. There are only like 15 of them around the whole world. So it is very possible for us to perform the Lagos miracle, the largest mass lifting of people out of poverty in a metropolitan city, in a mega city, in modern times. It's possible. So this book allows us to work together to deliver those outcomes and those objectives. And when you read this book, you begin to see in the book the equation of an agri-economy, an economic system based on agriculture. As a country and as a people, we have to ask ourselves a question. What is going to be the foundation of our economy? If we don't choose it, we're not going to grow. Every single country in the world that has prospered and lifted people out of poverty, they've done that. The Chinese said, we're going to be the factory of the world. And today, they're the factory of the world. You know, us in Nigeria, we have 88 million square kilometers of arable land. There's nothing stopping us from being the food factory of the world. There's nothing stopping us from being the process factory of the world. There's nothing stopping us from saying if you go to Mecca for Hajj, the beef you eat will come from Nigeria. If you go to Jerusalem for pilgrimage, the milk you drink will come from our cows. There's really nothing stopping us. So as you read this book, you're going to see the three pieces of the economic system outlined in the book. Because when you think of an economic system, you think of three things. You think of production, you think of investment, you think of consumption. It's those three things. And when you read this book, you begin to see about the different technologies in agriculture that affect production. How do we produce more from the same piece of land? How do we manage the same piece of land more efficiently? How do we connect all the pieces together? And you see these things inside the book. So if you want to learn about the technologies, both digital and associated technology, because the book is not just about digital, and I like the way Bisola put it, that it's not just about electrons, it's more than electrons. It's about all the basket of technologies in agriculture that work together to create the outcome that we want. And one important point is that digital is just a connecting piece. It's like something I told people when we were doing the wallet program. I told them that I can run this program end to end on a piece of paper. That is not the technology per se, it's the framework. But the technology just allows us to manage it better. And if those frameworks are not in place, the technology will not work. A lot of people don't understand that digital is sitting on the technology of other things. The guy that is doing a tractorization service, the guy that is doing high yield seeds, it's sitting on top of that foundation. A great scientist said some time ago that I see very far because I stand on the shoulder of giants. That was the point, which is digital is sitting on that foundation of all the other subsidiary technologies. So this production bit of the puzzle, very, very important. You're going to see all kind of technologies in the book, from drones, you're going to see all sorts. And I'm not going to give out the secret. That's why you have to read the book. So you see that. The next bit of this is that as you read this book, you're going to see about what people are doing. And I can talk about what Lagos State government is doing. I call it the P part of the equation, the production part. Until you understand that Lagos contains almost 22 million people, it doesn't occur to you that how do those people get food? They can buy a TV, they can buy more. And what a typical Lagosian today is spending almost 40% or more of their income on food. So think about it. If the person was spending 500, 400 out of every 1,000 naira, if you lower that cost by solving the production problem to 200, you've actually put 200 naira in every 1,000 in his pocket. If somebody was earning 100,000 naira, you've actually given the person almost 20,000 naira extra. What does it mean? It means that person now can say, okay, I want to take my child to another school. I want to buy a computer. And you discover that, you see that. And when you begin and I feel sad when the Madam Commissioner said she wasn't speaking, because I wanted to hear more about when is Matamil going to go live and all those things. Because you begin to discover that when those things happen, when we solve the production equation using all the technology related to it, the third largest mill in the world is in this Lagos State. That's it. This Matamil is the third largest in the world. And this is very interesting what you said, that information is scarce, the ministry's new website, very important. When I was talking to the ECOWAS commissioner that the third largest processing mill in the world is here in Lagos, he was so shocked. He didn't really believe. So he asked me for, where is number one, where is number two? And then I was so dumb not to have found out where is number one and where is number two. Because I never foresaw that somebody could ask me, where is number one and number two? Because I was only interested in the number three, the one that was where it was. So it startled me. So you begin to see how solving that production issue, feeding Lagos, and feeding Lagos sustainably, you begin to discover how it creates wealth, how it creates jobs, and how it actually lowers crime. Because the reason why somebody wants to steal is because they don't have money. You begin to discover that the reason why some people are worried about heaven than art is because art is terrible. If art is beautiful, nobody worries about heaven. Because if you're really intelligent, you want to enjoy art first before you talk about heaven. But you check those who talk about heaven a lot. There are those who are not enjoying art. So by solving the production equation, now what are we doing? We are making art enjoyable. No, I'll leave that. I'll leave that with him. but you see, the illustration is that we have a responsibility to create a good world for our people. We have a responsibility so that we don't talk to them like teachers, that your hope or your reward is in heaven. No, their reward must be on earth. So that's the second bit of the equation of the agri-economy that you see in the book is the investment, the I. And that's where you have the financial sector. And you mentioned about what's her name now, Madam Buki from Sterling Bank. Some of the bankers are here. Because if you get finance, money to agriculture more efficiently, you begin to scale the economy. It's one of the things that in the next few days, you will hear some interesting things about the use of capital markets to transform financing in agriculture. You're going to see those things happening. Like the Lagos Commodity and Futures Exchange director said yesterday, he said that what Nigeria could not solve for 60 years, we have finally solved it. Because the minute you can get money more efficiently into a sector, you just explode it, boom. So you see how different technologies affect getting finance to people. How do we make sure that the farmer that is in the village, he can have access to credit? There's a group of people in Turkey that want to roll out a technology in Nigeria. They call it geographical-based credit ranking systems, credit scoring system. So basically what they do is that they analyze satellite imagery of an area, let's say Plateau State. Then they look at the yield by various crops. Then they look at the effects of weather. And based on it now, they now give that area a credit score. So they now say, if you're a farmer coming from that area and you wanted to borrow, based on whatever money you want to borrow, you already have a credit score allocated to you. So these are some of the innovations that we will bring to agriculture that this book exposes the mind to, so that the investment bit can move. Because when investment takes place, things really, really move. And I'll give an example. And sorry that I'm always talking about this in watermill. It is because for the past 3 days, I've kind of been reflecting on the spillover effect on it on the sub-region. So think about Lagos State, 20 million people. If agriculture is Nigeria's $100 billion segment, it means Lagos alone, as a segment of that share, is almost like a quarter, almost $25 billion. So when you take a look at West Africa, from Lagos all the way to Gambia or to Nouakchott, at the very other end, if you have a $25 billion economic hub, do you know what you really have? You really have the equivalent of an America. And you can consider all the neighboring countries like Mexico. That's the way you kind of think about it. You now begin to discover that, things can flow into America and things can flow out of America. You cannot discover that potentially you can begin now to think of Lagos in the next 10 years like a kind of California. Because people don't know that California as a state in America alone is one of the top 15 economies in the world. That's just a state among the 50. That's one state. And does California have the population of Lagos? Emphatically no. So you now begin to see that if Lagos is potentially almost 5 to 6 times or 2 to 3 times the population of California, if you do the right things, automatically you can have the California in the sub-region. You can actually have such a huge effect that across the sub-region. And you discover that we can do it around the idea of that if you feed Lagos, you change Africa, you change the sub-region. This is very interesting. So the investment bit. So how do we work together to make investment possible? So the book outlines different technologies that get investment faster. And then to close, it's consumption. And if you've been watching Akin's Twitter page, you will hear about Rice Africa. And you wonder, because there's a consumption bit of it. Because nobody eats raw paddy rice. Nobody eats, today now somebody can eat raw cassava, but many, many years ago, you dare not eat raw. You dare not eat raw cassava. You begin to discover that there's a consumption bit of it, which is what all the things that make the household, the woman in the household, the man in the household, all the things that put food on the table. It's a whole 9 years of technology. From the technology that manages logistics, from the technology that manages payments, from the technology that manages quality control, from the technology that manages ordering, to get the food to the table. Really smart, which is thinking carefully about technologies for production P, technologies for investment I, and technology for consumption C. That's PIC. It now equals to an AE, agri-economy. And that's what you see for policymakers. If you want to create that agri-economy or agri-economy, then what you do is to make sure that you get a copy of this book, sponsor them for secondary school children, so that they can use that part of their Greek curriculum. And for those who are parents, make sure that we have the book, so that the book, we can give it to our children, so that our children can begin to think in the future that rather than be trained for getting a job, I am trained for creating opportunities. So that's why I will stop and I'll say thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Wow. Wow. That was an amazing one from my grand mentor. Trust me. I'm sure before I leave this event today, hey, I will be a full-blown agribusinessman. Please, a round of applause for him once again. In case many of, okay, what, according to what he said the intention of the name is to make our tongue twist. But I'm going to make another attempt. Vorian Corelli. I'm good at this pronunciation thing. Put your hands together for me. All right, so what they do at Vorian Corelli is that they matchmake. Yes, they matchmake. Not for people like me that don't have wife. They matchmake, not just even in the agricultural sector, they do it across, but mostly they link buyers to sellers to across the value chain, right? If I'm correct, that is what they do. So you can actually go on Instagram. I'd like everybody to go on Instagram now and follow that Instagram page to learn more about them. And, you know, I was on the Instagram page 3 days ago and I was just enjoying myself. That's one of the reasons why I'm more of a farmer today. Amen. Let's put our hands together for ourselves once again. So right about now, we're going to the conversation on agriculture and technology. So it's going to be a panel session. That is why we have this lovely seat here. And yes, to our online participants and viewers, when we come back, we're going to be taking some comments, you know. So if maybe you have questions, because it's going to be a panel session. If you have questions or something you'd like to know, we're going to proofread it. Of course, it's not like you ask us to do giveaway, because I know when it comes to online, people always ask for giveaway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the person that is going to be anchoring this. Okay, let me call on everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I'd like to make welcome Mr. Ibrahim Maigari. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Ibrahim from Livestock 247. And what they do at Livestock 247 is that they've taken grazing online. So you can actually order for your for your cattle, not just cattle, anything actually when it comes to beef, livestock actually. All right. And it's going to be saying more. It's not just into agri, it's into tech, obviously. Ladies and gentlemen, please a round of applause for David Apenda from Sterling Bank. Please a round of applause for Mr. David Apenda from Sterling Bank. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. I love your shoe. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, still in the same vein, please let's make welcome Mr. Edubong Apabio. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry. Mrs. Edubong. Please a round of applause for Mrs. Edubong. Keep jamming your hands together for her. From African Farmer Story. African Farmer Story. And the person that is going to be curating this panel session is not that person than my friend from Farm Tribe. Please a round of applause for Bidemi Ogedengbe. Put your hands together for one of the youngest agribusiness women that I know. Please let's keep jamming your hands together for her till she gets here. And if we have questions, we can just write them down. We're going to take numbers after when they're done. So we'll take one or two questions.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can everyone hear me? My name is Bidemi Ogedengbe. I'm the founder of Farm Tribe. Farm Tribe is an agri-tech based blog where I write and tell people about agriculture and the happenings in the sector. And I'd like the panelists to please introduce themselves.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is David Apenda. I work with Sterling Bank. I lead the agri-tech desk. What we do on the agri-tech desk is to see how we can use technology to drive finance for sector players. So we use technology to drive finance for farmers, smallholder farmers, by creating some sort of like innovative credit scoring systems that can then help us understand what farmers are doing on the field and then give the bank comfort to extend credit to those people. So what I do again is to build financial product that will make agriculture attractive to young people. We have a Sterling Women and Youth in Agriculture program. And then I'm also the product manager for SABEX, a digital commodity trading exchange, which I'll talk about in the course of the conversation. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Ibrahim Maigari Ahmadu. I'm a tech entrepreneur, and before I introduce myself, let me make a disclaimer and give it straight. Bolaji Akimburu, he doesn't know about this. He actually inspired me to step into the agri-tech sector. Thank you for that. And we've met severally in a lot of functions, but I've never said this to you because of our schedules. He's one of the most uncelebrated Nigerians that I have known in the past couple of years for the amount of service and disruption that he has done behind the scene. If you know what he's achieved, this is a bona fide candidate for a national award. So thank you for what you're doing, sir. I'm a tech entrepreneur. I co-founded Livestock 247, and Livestock 247 is Nigeria's first livestock online platform. We aggregate the livestock sector. We started, with the intention of solving a simple problem, ensuring that Nigerians eat wholesome, fit for slaughter, traceable livestock. But we've now veered into a lot of other things, and it's a good thing that technology is disrupting that sector. And we recently founded Rice Africa. Rice Africa is Africa's first online rice-only platform. That you hear a lot about Rice Africa. We've partnered with corporate farmers to do a lot of great things. So I'm very, very happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to learning more. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Mrs. Edobong.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Edobong Akpabio. I'm an official of the African Farmer Stories. This is an initiative that was born during the COVID-19 pandemic, where we wanted to tell the stories of the experiences of farmers all over Africa. A lot of the time, people were hearing about what was happening in the health sector and how the hospitality sector was suffering, but nobody was looking to why we were still alive, which is because the farmers were still working. So we celebrate them, we identify and encourage them. One of the ways we want to contribute to the lot of our farmers is by exposing them to modern ways of doing what they do. And technology actually is the future. So looking at it deeply, you will discover that if we remember that sometimes when we were maybe working, I worked in a company with some foreigners back in the past, and they all had access to Apple Macintosh, and they were not that educated. So we're looking at it and saying, okay, fine, some of our farmers are not educated, but we can make them use this technology. In December 2020, we held a webinar on drones technology. It was a fantastic outing, and now we are working to follow up on that and other technologies that can be used by farmers to improve what they do. It's not about our production, it's about our productivity. I'm happy to be here, and I will share more of what we know. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. It's really amazing to be with such inspiring people that have done great things in the agricultural sector. So my first question goes to Mr. Ibrahim Maigari. Am I right? All right. So you have an initiative with Farm Crowdy. Yes. It's a clarion call to reduce nomadic farming, if I'm correct. Yes. So how well would you say you've been able to achieve this with this initiative with Farm Crowdy?
Okay, that's a nice one. But before getting into answering your question directly, I would like to give some perspective. You know, Jack Ma of Alibaba once said something that I take very seriously. He said, once you see the public sector failing in an area, for instance, if the government fails to solve the problem, it's an opportunity for an entrepreneur to put in something there. So like we all know, the farmer hardware crisis has been on for a lot of years. In fact, that's what even motivated us to come into technology to solve that sector. I'm a descendant of farmer and herdsman. Like my brother here, David from Benue State. We've been fighting all these years, have we? Our people, unfortunately, because of competition over resources. And if you don't understand the whole line behind what creates the farmer hardware crisis, there's a seasonal migration from the north to the south yearly, from between September, October, when the rain stops in the north, some of our herdsmen start moving down south. Simply, it's a competition over resources, water and feed. The herdsman needs to get pasture for his herd. The farmer, rightfully so, wants to go to the farm. So they migrate southwards, and when the rain starts from the north early, the rain starts earlier in the north, around March, April, they'll start moving backwards. This is the pattern. So we saw that, and we saw that as a potential national crisis flashpoint. And we wanted, as Nigerians, as people in the tech, we wanted to solve that problem. So we created an animal identification system, which is another big thing the technology is doing in the sector, meaning we can now identify a cow. It's just like simply putting a SIM card on a cow, not really a SIM card. And we started promoting the aspect of sedentary, sedentary production of livestock, that's like a feedlot. So after some years of governmental policy making, advocacy through the government, through the public sector, of course, like we all know, it failed. And then we, as businessmen, we decided to just use a private sector-led initiative, which is what brought about the partnership with Farm Crowdy. We established feedlots around the country, and you'd be surprised. At that time, I could remember there was a time I was leaving home and I was watching channels. This is their early morning program where people fight. You know what's the morning something? Morning, not sunrise. So then it was this Ruga issue and colony issue. You know, Nigerians know how to really get agitated over things. So I was watching and I saw a lot of tension, and I came to the office because there was Mieti Allah guy on TV and one southern Nigerian guy somewhere talking about the government wants to annex our land, blah, 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 blah. So I came to the office and I asked my guys, can you pull up the data on people that responded to our feedlot program? Surprisingly, almost all the states in the country, we had response of our initial, of our expression of interest from almost all the states of the country. Meaning, privately, people see it as big business. The commissioner says something about Lagos. Lagos is the largest consumer of livestock products in sub-Saharan Africa. Lagos slaughters over 6,000 cows a day. A lot of people don't know this. Where do you find these cows from? Who is responsible for producing these cows? And what we've been doing in partnership with the Farm Crowdy that you mentioned and our company is to democratize access. Why should you allow the production of a commodity that is, it's over 7-point-something billion in a week of cows coming to the south every week to be ethnically controlled? Because now the default mode, if you ask somebody, give me a cow or a goat, go and get me that malam. The default mode is that cow business is a malam business. Why? The cow does not understand Igbo, Yoruba, English, Hausa, Fulani. It doesn't care about where you're from. What the cow needs is tender love and care. Food, water, veterinary medicine. It's a big business. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. So we've tried to, that attempt is to democratize knowledge, to demystify the sector, to mainstream the sector. The cow doesn't really care about you. The moment we start looking at it as a big business, then David will start now doing feedlot. Bidemi will start thinking of, because there's a market in Lagos. So that's what brought about the Farm Crowdy partnership. And it was quite successful. We provided funds to farmers, we provided inputs, and then because Livestock 247 is a platform that equally offtakes and links, to the end user. Because if the farmer has a guaranteed offtake, you solve almost his problem. So that's basically what we did with that partnership. Thank you.
That's a very, very good answer. Thank you very much, sir. My next question goes to Mrs. Edubonga Pabio. I'd like to ask, how well would you feel that there are enabling factors to help agri-tech entrepreneurs to, come into business? Because some people feel that, I really don't know anything about this agri-tech space, so I really don't think I'm going to do it. I don't think there are resources out there. So how do you feel, or how well do you think there are enabling factors to assist people to enter into this sector?
Thank you very much, Demi. Having interacted with a lot of people who are interested in agri-tech, one of the fundamental things we have observed is the internal war. When you don't know, or you keep yourself from knowing what you can do, you are doing a great disservice to society. Many people that are interested and cannot come up to do it, like you said, is because they don't have that confidence, and it's sad. Thing is, this is where we are going. You are interested in it? Young people, for instance, this is their top. We didn't have this kind of opportunities. And there are limitless opportunities on the digital space, limitless. So if you don't know something, what is the next thing to do? You go and learn it. When you learn it, when you take yourself seriously, you will do it better. We are having a lot of problems along that line that some people just don't want to learn. They think it's something that is just in for the taking. May I let you know that for many people, I came into this industry in 2006. Many of us that came in at the time felt that you can do anything. Agriculture is something everybody can do. They lost millions. But I call that school fees. So you need to learn. And there is room for learning. I myself am learning. And I'm thinking that I'm retiring. So it's something that we need to do. If you're looking for enabling environment, create one. All of us are looking for enabling environment. Livestock 247 within for enabling environment. But you need to create it. So if it is not there, it's an opportunity for you to create it. Because all of us are looking for enabling environment. So on the agri-tech space, I would say that you identify what you want to do, be very clear about it. You go out and learn it. You build a very good ecosystem around it, and sometimes that can be a very big word. So what it is saying is that identify the people that you're going to need around you, that are going to contribute to what you're doing, stakeholders, all of that. And sometimes your taxi driver could be a stakeholder. You do what? You go ahead and those are the enabling environments. Otherwise, if we're all sitting back and waiting, we won't do anything.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. So the lesson we can take from here is don't just wait, go ahead, go out and get what you want for yourself. So my next question goes to Mr. David Apenda. Over the years, the banking sector has looked at agriculture as a very high-risk venture, and most times they don't even want to make loan available to farmers. So do you feel that technology has been able to, de-risk this people going into this venture, and how well has the banking sector been able to open investment doors to agriculture?
Okay, thank you very much for your question. Before now, if you talk about funding the agriculture sector, the financial institutions like banks, we're always looking for comfort from the government. So you want to finance farmers in, say, Sokoto, and you're looking for government to give you some sort of guarantee. But with the new conversation around digital technology, banks are now beginning to see that. And again, why are they always looking for comfort from public banks and other institutions and from government and or the likes? Because they don't have visibility into what's happening on the field. Even the farmers who want to finance, are we sure they are there? Do they have the technical know-how? But with the advent of the whole digital disruption in agriculture, banks are now shifting their comfort from the government to what technology has to offer. For instance, as Sterling Bank, we financed a certain customer to the tune of 2.5 billion to cultivate over 20,000 hectares. How do they achieve that? What we did was the client had a platform, a digital platform that gave us visibility into farm operations. So we clustered them, over 20,000 farmers, each having one hectare. So with what we did 20,000 hectares. And we were getting the reports digitally. We were able to see when how the farms were mapped, what farmer was doing what. At every interval, we were getting reports digitally. We are profiled to have that visibility. So agriculture has been demystified via technology, and it has opened up the sector for people like banks to want to lend to it. And technology has really, really changed the sector, to be honest, if a bank really knows what they are doing. For instance, today we talk about innovative credit scoring algorithms. If I want to give a farmer finance, I don't need to ask him for collateral any longer. The kind of things I would be asking for instance, would be the crop you want to cultivate. Is it in an endemic areas? For instance, if you want to cultivate rice on something that's endemic to maize, I probably wouldn't finance you, right? So the credit scoring apparatus has changed completely. So instead of asking you for collateral, what I will ask you for is, how was the soil test report like? So that's the first. What was the soil test report like? Is that place prone to pest infection? We can send drones there to carry out satellite imaging. So you see what technology is doing, change the sector. So I sit in Lagos and I know what is exactly happening in Kano, in Kebbi, because just by logging onto a platform, I see what those results are. So if I'm sure that I'm going to get my yields back, why wouldn't I finance it? 3 years ago, we couldn't say that. But today, we have all kinds of platforms that gives us visibility into farm operations. And again, there's another innovative thing around insurance. We talk about weather-based insurance. So if I'm sure that we have done all the satellite imaging and there's low risk of flooding and all those things, the banks has comfort. So banks that are forward-thinking are already beginning to package themselves, because if you want to change the sector, if you want to do what Mr. Bolaji said about agroeconomy, then finance is central, investment is central. And for us in Sterling Bank, we have taken the bull by the horn. We have 5 sectors we have prioritized. We call it the heart of Sterling Bank. We have health, education, agriculture, renewable energy, and transport. We believe that these are the real sectors of the economy. If we get the economy right, if we get these 5 sectors right, we'll put Nigeria on the global map. And if you look at that heart, HEART, agriculture stands at the center of that. We are the only commercial bank today, and I just don't want to blow the trumpet, but we're the only commercial bank today that's giving over 10% of their loan book to agriculture. Ideally, the average is 2%. Banks are giving 2%. Even the government, if you look at agriculture budget compared to the general budget, it's less than 2-3%. But we have a commercial bank that's giving at least 10% of its total loan portfolio. It means we have seen the future. And I want to conclude by saying that agriculture is scalable. It's a scalable sector. Now, basic economics, the law of demand and supply, isn't it? Now, if you have more demand than supply, it's something you want to do. Today, there's more demand in the sector than even supply. So anybody that is thinking of an investment bid should consider agriculture, because it is an elastic market. We are struggling to meet up with maize. We're struggling to meet up with soya. And these are the things that a lot of people don't know these things. But if you look at the big companies in the world today, the Olams of this world, they work and they all depend on agriculture as their raw material. What Nigeria needs to now do is position the sector, make it attractive, open up the sector to people like banks to want to push in funding to it. And I'm happy that the franchise I work for is really, really committed to this sector. And we can just imagine if we open up, if we allow technology, create more visibility, how we can probably see how more finance will come to the sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. David, for your answer. So my next question goes to Mr. Ibrahim. First, data is the new oil. That's the new saying. Data is the new oil. So I found that sometimes when some of my agripreneur friends, they want to start like a new venture, they always have a very big issue getting access to data because they're like, oh, MBS has it, this one has it, how am I going to get access to it? So these are data gaps. So how do you feel agripreneurs can close these data gaps and maximize them to see these opportunities?
And that's also an opportunity in itself. The lack of the data is an opportunity to explore. And the truth of the matter is, we've not been investing in data because we've not created tools. And that's one interesting thing about what technology is doing in the agri space. We're creating tools to plug, to extract data. And when Mr. Akimboro was talking about how, we should change our narrative from primitiveness to futurism. And I've always been telling people that technology makes agri sexy. Excuse my French. And technology, like yesterday when I visited corporate farmers, I posted something that technology connects our past with our future. And that's agri. And coincidentally, Akimboro was talking about it because in the past couple of years, going to the farm is absolutely reserved for retirees, civil servants, and people that are living in the villages, right? Nobody thinks about going to the farm. But now with technology in that space, you have people like you, Bidemi, that are actively farming, and they're leveraging on technology. So lack of data itself is an opportunity. And with all the platforms that are coming up, for instance, the whole purpose of our setting up riceafrica.com is to create a platform exclusively for the rice sector. David mentioned maize and soya. And we noticed that if you want to pull data, you just get some obsolete data that will tell you that Nigeria produces X amount of rice per year. They're all not backed by any research, or the data is not clean. It's just, some portfolio farmers, some schemes of government, so somebody will come up with, I've aggregated 10,000 farmers and they're doing this and they're producing this. You don't have it, but on riceafrica.com now, we've aggregated farmers all over the country and they are not farmers that are like portfolio farmers, real-time farmers. We have their coordinates, we have their farms, we know what you're planting, we know the expected yield, we know the variety. Because most people that consume rice don't even know that the variety of the rice planted is responsible for for the comfort at the end of the channel, the cooking comfort. So we know the variety. At the point of milling, there's no data. For instance, if you're in the rice processing sector, if you have paddy now, you want to mill, let's say, 100 bags of rice as a small entrepreneur to sell. The conventional wisdom is to go to the normal rice mills. They are all overstretched. You find queues. Most of the rice mill will tell you come back in 2 months, 3 months. So we realize because of lack of data, you have some rice mills are overutilized. Well, there are rice mills coming up all over the country that are underutilized. You're in Oba. Maybe there's a rice mill close behind you. You're looking at the rice mill in Abeokuta. Or you're looking for a packaging material. We realize that. If you're looking for how to now, because it's part of the value chain, you have to get bags for a rice, for instance. You're looking for a company. There's no data. You don't know how many companies are producing qualitative packaging materials in Lagos. So we created a platform that people that are looking for demand and supply now, people that are looking for packaging materials, for instance, they go on Rice Africa and post in their demand. People that have packaging companies that are not utilized, they can now put. So we are matching demand and supply. So lack of data in itself is an opportunity, and that is what we're extracting now to create products, to now have analytics and so on and so forth. So to answer your question correctly, most entrepreneurs, if they are going to the field, this is a country that has not developed, has not invested in data. But with the activities in the past 5 years to date, at least you can now punch in some platforms, some banks like David. I know what Sterling Bank, I have to say it. Sterling Bank is the first bank that really met our requirements when we started. When he was that A in the middle of the heart was what giving, and we're still friends, we're still doing business together. So there are banks now that are exclusively giving data. If you are an entrepreneur, you want to invest in a particular sector, you can go to a bank like this and they will help you with all those data. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. My next question goes to Mrs. Edobong Akpabio. Would you say that there are enough agri-tech incubators and agri-tech accelerators, because I was in a competition with where Samson Ogbole was the winner, and there were other people that were actually talking about their ideas, and they kept asking them, is your business a B2C? Is it B2B? They could not really articulate what they really wanted to do. So my question again is, do you feel there are enough agriculturally concentrated incubators?
Thank you very much. I would say no. We have not scratched the surface at all. But let me back up to your inquiry again. And to say what Samson has always told us, technology is not an end in itself. Technology is to solve a problem. So we need to find out why those B2B and those B2Cs were having issues. What problem are they coming to solve is what they have not addressed. So we have not scratched the surface. By the time we are done, you don't need to ask that question, because everywhere will be brimming with developments, brimming with progress, and all of that. So we have not scratched the surface. But we need to be strategic about what we are doing. Even in agri-tech, we need to be strategic. Let's just like stop what the Honorable Commissioner spoke about and said, we can't do hoes and cutlasses anymore. So agri-tech should stop the hoe and cutlass stuff. But we have not, we don't have enough. We have not even scratched it. We have not even scratched it.
We hope that we have more agri-tech incubators in the future. So my last question, it's not even a question. What I would just like for Mr. David Appenda says, to tell our audience, both on and offline, about the products that Sterling Bank has for the agricultural sector.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm happy to jump on that question. All right, so like I said, we're a very, very agri-centric bank. Let me just speak generally before I focus on our products. We are really committed to driving finance to agripreneurs. And I'm very careful about the choice of words I'm using. Agriculture is a very lucrative business. Very, very lucrative if you know what you are doing. And so we should reinforce words like agripreneurship more often. It makes young people want to be part of that. So if you go to my Instagram page, I put I'm an agripreneur, and that is deliberate. So that's the kind of thing. And the Sterling Bank is really, really focused to driving finance to the sector. For instance, we've looked at agriculture in this one. We've looked at, okay, even after producing, we talk about grains and all that. There's a big challenge around what is happening in the grains value chain. The grains market is one of the biggest markets as far as Nigeria's subsector is concerned. Now we look at the grains market. And one thing to drive investment in the grains market is the issue of warehouse receipt systems, which has been very, very developed in advanced economies. But in Africa and in Nigeria, we don't have a working warehouse receipt system. What a warehouse receipt system does is, if, for instance, you have a certain amount of grain in a particular warehouse, you can use that, get a warehouse receipt, and use that to get a loan from a commercial bank. I don't think any bank in Nigeria is doing that today. A lot of banks rather finance oil and gas. But we've looked at that sector and said that it's promising. And what we've done is we've created a platform called SABEX. It's a digital commodity exchange to drive warehouse receipt financing. So today, anywhere in the world, and so I'm speaking to both online and offline participants, if you have grains, if you're an aggregator or you're a farmer, and you have grains stored somewhere, probably waiting for the price to appreciate, you can log on to SABEX and use those grains as collateral for instant loan. It's 3 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes, you get instant loan. We discount it to 70% of what you have to offer. So you have grains worth 10 million today. On that platform, you will get at least 7 million to buy more grains. So it's a win-win for you. And I'll explain why it's a win-win. Number one, your grains are appreciating in value, because if you buy, for instance, soya, people were buying soya at 205 naira just early January. Today, soya is around 280. So you see how lucrative this market is. So put your soya, for instance, log onto our platform, put your soya worth 10 million and take a facility of 7 million and buy more soya and trade it. So that's what SABEX does for you. So if you have grains anywhere, if an aggregator or a farmer anywhere, and you have those grains, why not come to the platform and get instant financing? So that 7 million or whatever can be now your working capital, and everything is done digitally. Speaking about digital agriculture, right? We're saying that technology can extend finance to the last mile almost with a click of a button. I'm still on the digital part. We have another product called Sterling Women and Youth in Agriculture. So if you are a young person, and the program is targeted to women and youth especially, because if you talk about agriculture in Nigeria today, it's a women and youth business, right? It used to be the older guys, but women are doing a lot in agriculture. Go to the rice mills. Mr. Ibrahim, you know what I'm talking about. Women control most of the rice mills in Nigeria, you know. So this program is targeted at women and youth. You can get between 5 to 20 million naira, depending on what your credit score. If you have a business name, you can give as high as 10 million naira. And you don't need to come to the bank. What we do, sometimes I struggle to call us a bank because we're more like a platform. We're more like an aggregated company, so to speak. This is also via a platform, www.swayacfin.ng. So on that link, which I probably will still share, you go there, fill in your question, upload your document, and ideally it's supposed to be 24 to 48 hours for you to get as high as 20 million naira. But because a lot of customers come, submit incomplete documentation, the process can lag another 1 or 2 weeks. But that is a digital platform to allow young people and women especially. In fact, because we are very focused on what women are doing in agriculture, 70% of that fund is dedicated to women. And we're talking about over 15 billion naira that we have dedicated for this project. So a lot of people don't know this, but I'm happy that this platform is trying to probably amplify that. We also have programs to finance people in mechanization. We have tractor finance programs. We have primary production programs. We partner with the government to extend credit to smallholder farmers. You know, we also have, if you are looking for working capital, and then we finance the entire value chain. We finance farmers, also finance processors. So if you're a mid-sized processor, you are doing something, you have a little rice mill somewhere, we can avail you credit. It's either I come to the Sway Acfin platform or you have an account with us and we put that conversation forward. Now, closing on this remark, I want to say that we are very, very passionate about agriculture as a bank. And we have grown businesses. We have grown businesses from 5 figures to close to 7 figures in Sterling Bank before. We are financed one of the biggest fish farming enterprise in Nigeria. We have financed one of the biggest rice mills in somewhere in Kebbi State. We have financed a whole lot of people. So if you are looking for a bank that is passionate about agriculture, a bank that is focused on technology to drive the sector, because I imagine we are the first bank that created a digital desk for agriculture. When the whole conversation came around agri-tech, Sterling Bank quickly created that table, and I was happy to probably be the first person to champion the table. From what we did, in the space of 9 months, we brought almost all agri-tech businesses onto the platform. That's where I got to meet Mr. Ibrahim, and it was massive. So we have people. We also support businesses who want to raise crowdfunding, right? At a point in time when we partnered with some people in terms of raising crowdfunding, you built collection systems for them, right? So if you're talking about an agri-centric bank, looking for how to raise funding, Sterling Bank will not only advance funding to you, we also nurture what you are doing. We also nurture, we build a relationship with you. So Sabex is for commodity exchange. Sway Acfin instantly, you can log onto your phone today to get instant finance to the tune of 20 million, especially if you're a lady, because 70% of that fund is dedicated to women. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. David. I'd like to ask, do we have any questions from our audience online?
Please, a round of applause for everybody once again that is on this panel. Okay, they are collecting the questions. Please proofread them to make sure that there are no questions that have already been asked previously. So we're going to take questions from here. We're just going to take 3 questions. So if you have a question and you'd like to ask, can I just see your hand? Or just raise your hand if you have a question that you'd like to ask. Meanwhile, by the way, I'm changing my gender to a lady because, 70% for women. I'm not that masculine, no. If you observe, I don't even have beards. All right, so questions. Okay, would we prefer to write it down? Is it that people are not in the mood to hold the microphone? Okay, we can take written questions too, actually, from here now, if you don't want to ask the question openly. Do we have the online questions already? Okay, so we have a question from an online participant. Thank you so much. Please, a round of applause for that lady. She has been doing a very amazing job. Okay, this question is not directed to anyone particularly, but I'm going to trade. Funny enough, I was going to give it to Mr. Maigari, and the question is actually your field. What is the role of extension service in solving the people mindset of the cattle business? And how can technology be incorporated into making extension services better? Let me take the question again. What is the role of extension service in solving the people mindset of the cattle business? And how can technology be incorporated into making extension services better?
This is a wonderful question. I think we should use this opportunity to reflect on what I said earlier. I mean, regarding the potentials and when you talk about livestock these days, people just think about meat and milk, forgetting the fact that there's a particular component of your fashion that's related to that sector. Am I connecting? Leather. You're sitting on a chair, you're wearing a shoe, you have a phone, you came on a car. There are a lot of things that are connected to the leather industry, which is also a multi-billion-dollar industry that is not even looked at. So the whole narrative, unfortunately, about the livestock sector, it's unfortunate. It's so ethnicized, it's so charged up, and that is responsible for the underdevelopment of the sector. The moment you bring about cattle now, like I said, the default thinking is mala. So the government is at the crossroad. Whatever developmental projects are trying to come up with to develop that sector is always kicked against. And there's arrogance on one part, there's so much hate on the other part, and so on and so forth. So what we've been trying to do as a company is to really create like that version of farm extension services digitally. We have, we dish out blogs on weekly basis. We have a very active social media platform. If you go to Livestock 247 NG, our digital marketing team are doing a wonderful job. They bring out things to demystify, to de-ethnicize. We call it the de-ethnicization of the livestock sector, to make Nigerians understand and appreciate that. Look, if Lagos slaughters over 6,000 cows a day, about late 2018, we did a survey. We wanted to really know, because the Lagos State Ministry of Agri gave us that statistics of 6,000 cows a day. So we said, let's do some baseline survey to find out real life data. How many cows do we have coming to the south? We station a consultant on 2 routes. There are what we call livestock control posts. There are 4, according to the Livestock Animal Disease Act of 1988. There are 4 livestock control posts. A livestock control post is like a toll gate. If you are moving cattle from, let's say, Katsina, from the market, they give you what is called loading permit. After the Department of Veterinary Service has done its check that the cow is fit for slaughter, is good to go, there's no problem, they'll give you an loading permit. And in that loading permit, they will tell you that since you are leaving Katsina, you have to go through Jeba. And where is their destination? Lagos. So that loading permit, when you come to Jeba is the livestock control post. You must stop at Jeba. There's the National Quarantine Service at Jeba and the Department of Veterinary Medicine Services to check on that cow. If may perchance along the line way from Katsina to Jeba, something has happened. If they see some things, they will disembark some of them. If it's good to go, you pass. So on arrival in Lagos, the Department of Veterinary Service must give you an offloading permit. Anybody that is in the veterinary sector knows all these drives. So we research on the 4 control posts. One is in Makodi, in Benue. One is a town, Gadambu, in Nasarawa State, and there is Jeba, and there is Lokoja in Kogi State. So we took 2. That was in the middle of this crisis in Benue of anti-grazing law. So we decided to avoid the North Central and that part. So we decided to pick Jeba and Lokoja. We stationed this consultant for only 1 week. We said, just count cows, no goats, no sheep, just cow. Trucks, no pickup, no canter, just trucks. 1 week. You know how many trucks we got? 1,458 trucks passed over. And a truck averagely takes about 33 cows. That will give you about 40-something thousand cows in a week. I'll tell you, there is no cow that sells less than 150,000 in Lagos today. If it is less than that, it's a glorified ram. Abi? So if you just do conventionally 150,000 times 43,000 in 1 week, that is the trade volume of over 7.2 billion naira. And nobody is talking about that. And the guy that comes to you see now, Nawan Malam, you think he's an illiterate. And we trace cattle routes from Morocco, South Sudan, Central Africa, Mauritania, where he talked about. I'm telling you, trade routes of cattle that has been existing for the past 100 years, all been attracted through northern Nigeria. You know the market? Lagos. If Lagos shuts down, the entire cattle production in Sahelian Africa will collapse. Nobody cares about that because we are so ethnically thinking about this is a Malan's business, while some people are cashing out. So what we're doing with our platform is to create, and we need to change the narrative that the beef sector alone is a multi-billion. The International Livestock Research Institute released a survey recently. By the year 2030, beef consumption in developing countries will hit about 230 million metric tons a year. In developing countries, beef consumption. Because developed countries, they know they chop meat again now. Not be grass in the top, people. Everybody is vegan now. So eating meat is an African thing. And we have, Nigeria is surrounded by, I'm sorry if I'm taking too much time because I need to give perspectives about this mainstreaming and changing the perspective. Nigeria is surrounded by developing countries. Nigeria is a developing country that, according to the International Population Review, World Population Review, by 2050, our population is going to be around 450 million. So it's a growing economy. We have a growing middle class. We have new wealthy people coming into the spectrum. People are eating more. Nigeria is surrounded by developing countries. Most of the meat you eat today, you don't know this, are not from these Fulani people that are doing nomadic pastoralism. Because the nomadic Fulani's relationship with the cow is ornamental. It's not commercial. It's ornamental. It is culture to have 1,000 cows. It's a thing of pride. So most of the meat you eat are imports from South Sudan, Central Africa, Cameroon, Chad, Morocco. Some people have been doing this business for years. And we are sitting down here thinking that it is one ethnic group that is it. No, if we develop that sector, we'll open it up. And in the past 1 year or two, we've seen people diversifying from the oil sector. We've done projects for people that are setting up ranches in the Southwest. And funnily, amongst the feedlots that when we partnered with one crowd, that we invested, one of the best that gave us the best result is in Iwo. Because of the weather, most of the herders come down to the south now because the rain stays longer in the south. So they they graze more. They have access to qualitative veterinary drugs in the south because of Lagos. So these are opportunities, and that is why we're passionate about what we're doing, and we're releasing blogs. We do a lot of talks. We're doing a lot of things to change that narrative that cow business is not a Malan thing. This is national wealth. If a Hausa man can go to the south and drill oil, what stops an Urobo person or a Sekiri person going to the north to set up feedlot? Like I said, the cow doesn't understand your language. It doesn't care. It is tender love and care. Food, grass, water, and veterinary medicine. Thank you.
Please, a round of applause for Mr. Magari. Wow. Wow. I know this year is my year. I so know it. Because all this information I'm getting now, by the time we're having another event like this, I'll be one of the people on this seat. And I'll be telling you, I remember the last time I was there as an MC, but I've dropped that line of work now. Please, a round of applause once again. So I want us to do something right now. Kindly pick your phone. If you have an Instagram, go to Instagram and type Livestock247NG. let us all follow. Because I see that one of the ways we... So while I was preparing for this event, I kept seeing everybody on everybody's feeds. Do you understand? When I'm checking you out, I'm seeing this picture, I'm seeing you, and I'm okay. And that is how we can move, especially when we have a common goal. So let's look for Livestock 247 NG and kindly follow. You see a cattle there with a blue logo. Have we done that? All right, thank you so much. So we'll take one more question, and I think we'll call it a wrap. For anyone who wants to... Okay, I think this question is for Mr. David. Is on finance. For anyone who wants to go into precision agriculture, is there any funding for them?
Okay, precision agriculture, for sure. There's funding for any line of agriculture you want to go into. And precision agriculture layers on technology, isn't it? Which is even why we probably will be more interested in that. Today, we have a particular partner, is into drones. We spoke this morning, and I was just trying to get some information from him. We're trying to see how we can package financing for him. And I was really marveled at what he said. He mentioned that what one of his drones can do in terms of either spraying or checking weather report for 15 minutes, it will take 1 day's job for a human being to do that. So we're talking about technology driving productivity and efficiency. That's the whole conversation we're saying here. So I'm happy, the bank will be happy to push into those ventures, right? But again, let me just speak a bit more generally now. I think the finance market or the finance instruments for agriculture needs to be deepened. There are all kinds of funding. There's level 1 funding, level 2, level 3, primary, secondary, and tertiary, isn't it? You asked a question about accelerator programs and all that. So banks today are really scared of startups. Let me make that clear. Banks are really scared of startups. And I'm looking forward to an economy or an economy where we have other kinds of funding. Banks want to see cash flow before they venture into most of these things. But again, I'm happy to say that our brand has some special, we have an R&D budget for such kind of funding. But again, I would want an economy where we have more kinds of funding, level 1 funding for accelerator programs coming, so that when you build that to probably 18 months, they will not graduate to financial, because you drop your project to a financial bank, if you're not careful, and the bank is not seeing cash flow, most banks will shy away. I'm really hoping that very soon in this country, we'll see that layer 1 funding where we have a lot of venture capitalists pushing these people, take them to 18 months, and then let them graduate to banking. That's my big prayer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So final question too for you. Okay. I think you answered this. It's the same kind of question.
Here.
Does Sterling Bank fund agri-tech startups focused on improving productivity in agriculture?
Yeah, I think I answered that. And I also mentioned that we actually started a DEX for this. And I don't think there's any agri-tech company that we have not onboarded. I don't think there's any agri-tech, you can name them. The person we gave a 2.5 billion naira facility who did maize in 2 key locations, over 20,000 hectares. And as I speak to you, I think that fund has been paid because it was clear from, I told you we got visibility into what they were doing, and we monitored the activities for the past 6 months, 100% recovery. So we are happy. We are happy to see this kind of information. We know that the future is digital, and we are really committed to funding and digital agri startups. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please, a round of applause for every of our speaker, of our panelists. Thank you so much. We can have our seats now. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful having you. I've learned a whole lot. Now, we are going to be marking our exam scripts. We're going to be what? Submit your scripts. What have you written? I'm going around. People that were not writing anything, they're just, we're going to submit that leaflet and we'll mark it. And we'll give the best student. We'll give the person a gift to go home with. All right. Quickly, what we are here to do today, we're here for the launching of the book, The Rise of Digital Agriculture. There have been conversations on and on about agriculture, agribusiness, agri-tech. And this is just what we would liken to the tip of the iceberg, because there is a lot of information in this book. There is so much In fact, honestly, I read only the cover of the book and my life is changing already. I'm serious. And it communicates a whole lot. So ladies and gentlemen, for the unveiling of the book, ladies and gentlemen, I like saying ladies and gentlemen a lot. Please put your hands together for Mr. Akin Alabi, the author of this book, as we come to have the unveiling. Keep jamming your hands together for him. Remember, this is a book every household should have. Have for you, your children, your neighbor, everybody.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think they need to help me move it a little bit to the side. Careful. Okay. Thank you. Sean, don't go, please. Where's Sean? Sean, can you please just stay beside me here? Okay. All right. So, thank you. This is the book, The Rise of Digital Agriculture. That's the future of not only Africa, but the world today. To launch this book officially, I wouldn't have rest of mind when writing this book in my house if the house is not at peace. And that is very critical to those married men, you know. So I want to call my wife, Barrister Busola Alabi, please come. She's a very shy person though, but I had to drag her to come here anyway. She has stood by me for the past 7 years. And it's been awesome. Though tough sometimes, but thank God. And she knew when I began this journey. She was even telling me this morning that, you know, I was just going to my small office then. I just started writing. So I was like, I'm writing book. Just leave it. One day, you'll see it. You know, it's the joy that we could, you know, do this today, you know, and to our kids, leave a legacy for them, you know, as a family. That's one of the major objectives why I had to do this again. To join me launch this book again, I'm going to call my friend, my brother, that's been with me for the past 15 years of my journey in the agribusiness sector. That is Prince Rda Book. Though he's here with his lovely wife, though. So please come with your wife too to join us in this official launch. He has been my very good buddy. We fight a lot like husband and wife, but trust me, for marrying a wife for 15 years, it's more beans. You know, but it's been a very, very fantastic brother. We pray together, we grow the company together, and we are here where we are today. Also, I want to call on my mentor, my mentor, the person that I've looked up into in this industry, someone that I've actually tried as much as possible to work in his footstep. You know, though he's still very far, but I'm trying. That's why I had to put him on his deck, say, okay, you must forward this book, regardless of wherever you are in the world. He travels a lot. I want to call him Mr. Bolaji Akiboro. So please join me to launch this book. You know, and also, please, Mr. Bolaji. And I also want to call one of my very good brother, an elder in the industry. You know, most times I say anything on Lido Insurance, I'm always like, okay, I want to survive by you, kill and shit. You know, someone that he has been with me for the past couple of years in this industry, Mr. Ayola Fatano, please join me to launch this book. I need to have you here. I wish I could have everybody, but you know, it's a small table. I can't have everybody, you know, here. And a renowned person in the agri-tech industry, Ibrahim Maigari, you know, I love his works. He's so passionate. He was in our office yesterday. The guy was just drilling our head like wildfire. I'm like, why do you want to start from again this one? You know, he's a fantastic person. Anyway, just, you know, he's a fantastic man that has also I've looked up onto and also has helped me grow this industry together. Fantastic person, and I love him so much. AGF. No, there's a name you called me yesterday. Osla General of the Federation. that is who he is. Then finally, I want to call on somebody. Wale Anar is here, but I have to pick somebody. You know, these are my great buddies way back. You know, I couldn't be who I am today again in terms of delivery, commitment, passion, and in terms of doggedness. if these two guys, we've not worked together. Wale and Larry, please come out here. You guys are awesome. You know how, as we go down, these guys have been fantastic, way back when we were in system specs, during the late nights and everything. They're dogged, and hungry guys. Convener of Lagos Digital Summit, one of the major influencers on Twitter. You guys might know him. He's always a troublesome person. Anyway, the troublesome person. Finally, lastly, I would like to call. Yeah, I'd like to call Nomofai. That is another international broadcaster. Somebody that is always saying, every now and then, is always checking on me. And I love the fact that he has been with us. He has seen our growth for the past 15 to 10 years in Corporate Farmers International. Bosin Nomofai, please join me to launch this book. Then finally, I want to call my mother's pastor. My mother should have been here, but because of her age, I said, no, just stay. But I had to bring a pastor and also my pastor. He has known me when I was still in school. That was when I was still struggling like wildfire. Pastor Shoko, please join me. Victoria Madedo, I want to call you, but we have a full space. Edobong, I want to call you, but I have a full space. I love you guys. You guys are awesome, beautiful set of people that I've worked with, especially Victoria Madedo. She's awesome. She's my girl, but she will call me your guy, Scope. She's our girl. If you know her very well, you know how deep is it. Samson knows what I'm talking about. Samson, please call. Silence. I dare not. Please, no, because of your industry, it's quite critical. And a couple of things I wrote in the book touched to what you wrote again. So, but to do this honor, I want to give Mr. Bolaji Akinboro the privilege to launch this book. Just a few words, as I've said everything, but just to, as we did for Voria Coeli now, just to launch it to the general public so that we could begin to pick our copies and support the vision and also support the objective while we're doing this. So Mr. Bolaji, please help me.
Thank you very much, Aki. Actually, this is a momentous occasion for me. I'd never launched a book in my life before. So this is my first time of launching a book. One question that is important to me is this. The book is going to be on shelves. What's the list price of the book?
Well, PM, show 5,000. Is one issue.
The retail price is 5,000. Okay, excellent. So that's $10. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. So we lift the book up and we launch this book in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. We say that this book will spread around the world. Amen. And will change lives around the world. Amen. And it will be a material that will enable agriculture in Nigeria in particular and Africa in general to move forward at the speed of God, not at the speed of man. Amen. In the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen.
Thank you. So thank you very much. So officially we've launched it. What do we need to do now? I think that is all. So thank you very much, everybody. So we've launched the book. So you're going to be placing orders. They'll be going around to give you a couple of cards to know how many orders you want to know that. Okay. Boss wants some. Okay. Like the shows. Please, guys, let us supposed to take pictures, please. Photo ops and all that. Okay.
And also, at least I will sponsor 100 copies to children in secondary schools.
So I was still going to explain to us that we're still all going to have the opportunity to personally say, I want to sponsor 500 copies. It's not me. I'm speaking on behalf of someone that will later come up to sponsor 500 copies. So we're all going to have that privilege to start getting ready. Like I said, it's a book every household should have. So plan to gift people. When someone asks you, where's my birthday gift? You just give them the rise of digital agriculture. If someone asks you, where's my Valentine's gift? They'll be like, I have the perfect gift for, just give them the book. Because trust me, the money they will make from the information in that book is worth more than any parara or, any surprise package they can ever get. Please, a lot of applause for it. I mean, look at the way the book is looking so, I feel like reading it already. It's attractive. In the words of Mr. Magari, is sexy. The book is amazing. So we're going to be having a piece of paper go around now. So you can pre-order. And if you're online too, do we have a link for people to make order? All right, so we're going to try to upload that now. Let's upload a link on social media. Yes, and for people to pre-order, like I said, keep buying for people. Personally, I'm going to, purchase one for somebody. For yes. So right now we're going straight to the book readings because I want to have some excerpts from. Okay, we're just going to have some excerpts from the pages, just like a little watermouth. That's what they call it. My friend runs a cake brand, and she did this program one time where she baked cake for free for people to come and just eat. It sounded somehow, but trust me, it was a very good marketing strategy. Because when you are sure of the product you are putting out, you're not afraid that people will eat the free version and they will not come again. No, when you're very sure of the kind of content that you're putting out, you're so confident that you can give people a free trial, and then by the time they hinge on it, they cannot just but want to go on the full roller coaster with you. So the first reading, we're just going to do very short reading. All right, but before that, I'll be bringing up the programs manager for this whole booklet. Free round of applause for Shane Oguyemi. Put your hand together for him. Everything you're seeing here, he has been actively involved.
All right, thank you very much. And once again, I appreciate you. So with the card, we have a card with us, a launching slip. So it was supposed to be an invite code, but you just write your name there, the number of copies you need, and also the amount you are supporting us with. Thank you very much. So we'll go around and take the.
Right, so the cards are going around now. Just a short card. I remember when I was still in secondary school, I went to a Catholic school. So there's this harvest we used to have where parents get to come and, we'll launch. I can't even remember, but I know I think we always launch something then. Maybe Long Life. We shall launch something. Yes, the account number too is actually on the card. The account number, so you can start making the transfers now. Now network is good. There's no network. Network is good. Glow, MTN, there's no network. It's good. It's good. Amen. All right. So back then, there was this woman, I can never forget it. It's a true life story. She came up and she was like, so when people just come up and are like, because it's a church harvest, praise God. I'm going to be, on behalf of myself and my family, I'm going to be putting down 10 million naira. Praise God. Hallelujah. 10 million, drop it. No noise, Somebody even came out and was like, I would not like to disclose, but I'm going to be dropping around 7 digits. Hallelujah. So there's this very beautiful woman, wonderful woman, my friend's mom. She came up, she said, praise Master Jesus. People respond now, come along with the joke. Praise Master Jesus. Then she went on to first educate us. I was like, we children of nowadays, we're not always serious in class. We're always pressing phone, downloading. After the talk, she went on to talk about how our child used to be a troublesome child. We were just really waiting like, launch whatever we are launching. Launch it. So after the whole talk, she concluded by saying, on behalf of me, my 2 children, he said, oh yeah, stand up. No, stand up. Because the 2 children, they stood up. I don't know if that woman is a comedian or something. After the children said, on behalf of me, my 2 children, my husband, and the pastor of our church, I'm going to be donating 2,500 naira. I'm not making this up. Everybody froze. There are times you want to pretend and shout, clap. Because I was like, okay, is she joking? And she just dropped the mic. She didn't even say, she just said, thank you so much. I mean, that really touched me. So because we don't want to have that kind of scenario, that's why we're giving everybody paper. Just write it from the bottom of your heart. What you can do, just write it. For example, I'm not going to loud it, but I'm going to be sponsoring with like figures. Figures. But I won't mention. But understand that it's figures. And the figure, you see, it's plural. Figures. Watch out for you don't give me card. You don't rate me. You didn't give me card. Bring the card. My hand. Bring the card. I'm going to write a figure. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Maybe everybody should even stop writing because by the time I write my figure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the first book reading, please make welcome Lanre Adelanwa from InterSwitch. A round of applause for Lanre Adelanwa from InterSwitch as it comes to Mr. Lanre is married. He's married. Take your eyes off him. He is married.
Yes, you can. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It's such an honor to be here. And I can, just as I said some short while ago, I think congratulations are in order. Okay, there's a big milestone, and I mean, congrats once again. I'll be reading through just a page of the book. I suspect you don't have it at hand, so I will just read through. I'm reading chapters 1, page 2. It's titled Traditional Method of Farming, the Need for E-Agriculture. So in Africa, so many strategies have been developed and are being executed with the aim of developing the agricultural sector, which is one of the main sources of income in the northeastern and some of the northwestern part of Africa. The traditional methods used in agriculture have been in practice by farmers for a long period. With the emergence of new technologies and its widespread use, the use of those technologies in the agriculture sector will probably create a positive effect on the growth and development of agriculture. There's so many ways to incorporate the emerging trends in ICT with agriculture that we aid the enhancement of rural development and agriculture sector via an efficient information and communication technology processes. I mean, there's a reference used in the book. I hope that you'll find the time and presence of mind just to be able to locate that which I've read. But like I said when I started, congratulations, Akin. I hope this goes all around and around. Thank you, everyone. Cheers.
I'll put hands together for you. Thank you so much, Mr. Rda Book from InterSwitch. All right, second book reading quickly. Boasin Omofaye. Boasin Omofaye. Please, a round of applause. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Like the gentleman said earlier, the name was deliberately designed to confuse people and get everyone to understand, to ask where is he from, where is he going, who was he, and all of that. Thank you very much, Akin, for giving me the privilege and the honor. Before I read a portion that my wife just pointed out that she says she likes the topic, I would like to say a few words for a few seconds. I know we've spent time. And what I want to say was that the Commissioner for Agriculture for Lagos State spoke about perseverance and persistence. And I think I will add a few more, just one or two or three more. The third that I will add to the P is perspiration, that is sweating. I'll add the fourth, which is patience. Then I'll add the fifth, which is the most important, partnership. Why do I say partnership is the most important? I don't know about any other faith, but I know about Christianity and the scriptures called the Bible. And God says, come, let us make man in our image. Does he need any help or anyone to help him? Why did he say, come, let us do it? It means that if you can form partnership that will create the earth and the universe, the one who has the capacity to create everything, they call on others to say, come, let us do it. Means that you can't do anything alone. So the word come, let us do it, for me is one of the most profound statements ever. So this book was written by Aki Alabi, but the gentleman who sits to my far right, who keeps saying, and the loudest in the room that I can hear so far is by the name Prince Ajay. Please stand up for recognition. Please give a round of applause. And why do I say partnership is the most important was because when I met both of them a couple of years ago, Both of them were perspiring and sweating. And I mean physically speaking. And in an office that makes you perspire, which makes you sweat. So they dragged me down there. But what I saw in both of them 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years down the line is partnership. So I picked a few words from what Akin said earlier, that they fight a lot, but they are together, and that is what partnership is all about. So this book is from Corporate Farmers, Nigeria Limited, even though authored by one. But this is a product of two people who have stuck together and who believe that doing it together is what will make you achieve everything. And if there's anything that is missing in Nigeria today, it is working together. We don't work together as a nation. Let me rest it there. I can please take a seat. I'm reading chapter 12, page 76. The topic is green agriculture in Africa. And I'm reading paragraph 3. And it says, while Asia's green revolution mainly focused on irrigated wheat and rice together with improved crop varieties and expanded use of chemical fertilizers, Africa's soils vary by region and need a more tailored approach. Africa's low use of irrigation and overwhelming dependence on often insufficient rain-fed agriculture also hinder the continent's low agricultural productivity. As a matter of fact, Malawi, which has efficiently managed its available water supply since the launch of the Green Belt Initiative in 2012, became the second top food crops producer in Africa in 2013. Limited funding in the agriculture sector by African governments and development partners has also prevented the provision of adequate institutional support and suitable business environment, in turn hindering private sector participation and investment in agriculture. End of quote. Now, I don't know why my wife chose this chapter, but I've spent the last few years of my few time talking and doing more, talking about agriculture and talk about Africa reporting. So I can thank you. This is not a book for Nigeria. This is a book for Africa. This is a book that takes Africa's further. I'm happy for you. Remember, agriculture beyond food. It's called the BFA. Thank you very much. I rest my case.
Please, a round of applause for him. Thank you so much, sir. That was a very amazing one. Thank you, sir. All right, so quickly also for book reading, please make welcome Ayola Fatono, Leadway Assurance. Please a round of applause for Mr. Ayola Fatono. Keep jamming your hands together for him till he gets here.
Good afternoon, everyone, once again. It's not the first time I'm attending a book launch, but the first time I will be reading an excerpt from a book launch. It's for corporate farmers. This is a good one. I admire you guys for what you've done, especially from the perspective of giving a new perception to agriculture to the youths. You guys have been awesome, and we'll continue to go together on this particular journey for a long, long while. You guys have done very well. And for everybody that have supported you, you guys are backing the writers. I will cash out. Definitely will cash out. You can ask Mr. Bolaji Akiboro. He's already cashing out. And Alaji Megari of Livestock 247. All cashing out. There is definitely the opportunities are awesome. Very, very awesome. If we manage the risks very well, it's very, very awesome. I will make tons of money. It's actually the new world. And we have to continue to actually exploit all those opportunities. So I'm going to read from page 151 of the book. The use of ICT-based agricultural products market platform is already gaining pace in Africa. Since markets as well as market information are available, farmers have the opportunity to use the information to make informed choices about marketing and also improve their incomes by bargaining. They can also seize market opportunities by adjusting production plans and allocating production factors better. In this regard, ICT-based market platforms play a crucial role by providing timely and relevant information in a manner that makes it easy to be absorbed and acted upon immediately. So you can see that is actually very apt and key. And that's what a lot of us are trying to do here, create that particular ecosystem where you're going to have the information to invest properly in agriculture and make enormous profit and cash out. Once again, Aki Alabi, thank you for this. Praise, you guys have done well. Thank you.
So much, sir. All right, so let me explain this. Thank you so much. You've been seeing our responses from the card that we distributed around. But I wanted to just quickly come clarify something, that we are launching the book at the same time we are buying the book. So it's different. You can buy 10 copies and still launch it 1 million naira. Like, I'm not going to make mouth, you know. But really, do we all get it now? Because many of us are just buying. And thank you so much for patronizing, because yes, we want to sell the book, but also we want to launch it because a lot has gone into the production of this fine material over here. So please let us endeavor to encourage and launch it properly. So from now, we can go to we've been writing millions. Let's start writing the billions now. Grand mentor. I'm greeting you, sir. I'm just greeting you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please can we jam our hands to Mrs. Victoria from BOI Trust. Please a round of applause for her as she comes up.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to be here this afternoon, and I am super proud about this achievement that Akin Alabi has done. It is indeed spectacular. Looking at the book, Drivers for Big Data in Smart Farming in Africa, which is chapter 16, we understand that data is the new oil, according to Mr. Akimboro. If you do not understand data in agriculture, then you do not know how to do agriculture. There has been a significant trend to consider the application of big data techniques and methods to agriculture as a major opportunity for application of the technology stack. For investment and for the realization of additional value within the agri-food sector, big data applications in farming are not strictly about primary production, but they play a major role in improving the efficiency of the entire supply chain and alleviating food security concerns. Currently, big data applications discussed in the that big data application is needed in Africa. We need to embrace technology and move beyond hoes and cutlasses. Thank you very much for having me read this book.
Thank you so much, Ma. Please, a round of applause. All right, so I have to mention this. Sorry, I have to mention this. It's quite important that we buy in bulk and give to people and check on them to make sure they read it. The goal here today is not to just make money from selling books. The original on Read the Book. Once again, please a round of applause. Let's put our hands together for ourselves. Yes, very soon, don't worry, we're getting to refreshment because I see some people are not clapping with the same energy they were using the clapping before. It's understandable. It's understandable. Remember I said I have a gift of people that came early. We're part of the people that came before 11 o'clock. Let me see, and you were here before 11 a.m. in the morning. Yes, don't worry, okay. We're going to serve something round for you now because I'm a man of my word. We're going to serve something round for you. Just wait for it. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, for the book review, please let's make welcome Mr. Samson from Soilless Lab. A round of applause for Mr. Samson Ogbele from Soilless Lab.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Farmer Samson Ogbele. It's a privilege to be here. I'm not sure how I got the privilege to be the person standing. I have my daddies on this seat. I have another daddy on this seat. Mommy V, Happy New Year. My mommy, it's not so. Mommy promised us chicken, we didn't see. Okay. Mommy Akpabio. Okay. God is good. It's a pleasure to be here. Throughout the time I was sitting there, I kept thinking, when did I actually meet corporate farmers? I'm not sure how they found me, in all honesty. I mean, I came into agriculture from research, and as somebody that came out from research, all we know is just collect data, keep collecting data. And I think it was True White. I'm not so sure. Somebody just called me one day. I'm like, we are corporate farmers. Guy, we like what you're doing. Blow it up. And I'm like, what I'm just doing is ordinarily growing yam without soil. What are you blowing up? Like, in my mind, it did not make sense. But I remember the first day I sat down with them and they were like, this is huge. I mean, I think you're the first set of people that actually made me realize what you are doing is not as ordinary as you think it is. This is different. This is huge. And the day he called me and he said, I want you to review my book. I'm like, He has never asked me for anything. So it was like, finally, I am worthy enough to be asked. Not just to be told like, what you are doing is good, now come and do something. I got the book, I think on Wednesday or Thursday. Immediately I got the book, I entered the office. I finished the book, called all the staff together and said, we are discussing this book next. And we are like, I said, yes, we are going to discuss the book so that you understand why we do what we do. One of my staff said something. Before she said it, I didn't really think about it. I made one of them actually read the book already. She's done already with the book. And one of them said something. She said, this is not just a book. This is a literature review. And for the first time, I looked at it again and realized, wait, this guy has done so much assignment on our behalf that I can pick any aspect of agriculture, talk about it, and get the references here. Please, that's amazing. Please, let's clap for him. Now, in reading the book, what Mr. Akialabi has done is three basic things as far as I'm concerned. First, he started by describing agriculture in the simplest form, from where we were, so that everybody understands what agriculture is. Then he moved to an aspect that, unfortunately, like the commissioner said, we have not even gotten there yet in Nigeria, which is agricultural science. And I say we cannot have a progressive agriculture without moving with the science, because agriculture today is based on science. That is why in school it was called agricultural science. So if I am farming without the science, I would be poor. because I will not understand what is relevant now. If I'm making any sense, this book answers the question of what is relevant now as it relates to science. Now, he did not stop there because at the aspect of science, you are in my own domain where we are inside research, doing the whole lab work, and you're having fun. He took it to the next level of jumping to agribusiness, where he discussed the business perspective. So as you go through the book, I mean, everybody was like, when I brought it out in my office, everybody said, something, we know the first place you went to, vertical farming, urban farming. I said, no, that's my area. I don't need to rush there. I need to see what's happening in other areas. One of the best parts that I loved about the book is the part of the big data. And I love the data back part so much because when people come to me and say, what's most profitable? Is it growing yam in the air, tomatoes without soil and all of that? I'm like, no. What's most profitable for us as a company right now is selling information. Because everything that we do is properly documented. Take, for instance, I think as a company, I know Mommy has taken our tomatoes. I can boldly tell people that you can keep our tomatoes on top of your table, not inside fridge for 3 weeks. Nothing will happen to it. It won't get spoiled. How did we know that? Data. We can tell you, okay, this temperature is like this is how long it will take your tomatoes to get ripe. Let me look for an example that would probably make sense. To our daddies here, we all take tomatoes. I want to explain how we use data to advise and how we use it to make money. We all eat tomatoes and we all feel, oh, tomatoes contains lycopene that is able to fight against prostate cancer in men. We've all heard of that story. Now, the question is, if that is true, why is there a rise of prostate cancer in men worldwide? Because that's the second largest form of cancer worldwide. Why is it on the rise? It's one of two things. It's either our tomatoes are fake or what we were taught is a lie. Abi? Now, if we choose to believe that our teachers did not lie, then there is something wrong with our tomatoes. So we went into looking at, okay, what is wrong with our tomatoes? First, we realized through data and studying step by step, most of the paste in the industry today remove the skin and the seed in a way to increase the shelf life of the products. Unfortunately, the lycopene content in tomatoes is actually present in the pulp and in the skin and the seed. Very minute quantity is found in the pulp, which is mainly what we eat. Number two, we looked at fertilizers application. Soil-based farmers just apply fertilizer because either it is available or it is cheap or it was given or something. And the issue with that is the guys that make fertilizer made fertilizer with percentages. The idea is they assume that whomever will apply this understands what is happening in their soil. So you are buying something to complement. So if you buy what does not complement, then it destroys. And because of that, it reduces the integrity of the tomatoes that you have to take. Now, some people are wondering, wait, where is this guy going with all of this? Get the book, you will get the full gist. Awesome work. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have 2 more items there on the program and we're done. I feel like we should keep going. I mean, I also feel like we should keep going. Please put your hands together for yourself once again. My name is Oluwatosin, I know, in case you came while the program has started. I'm also known as the corporate MC, but now I'm rebranding, I'm joining corporate farmers because that's where the money is. That's where the money is now. Because I used to tell people, no matter, hey, oh my God, you have rebranded my life, sir. My life has changed. So now my name is the corporate farmer MC. Put your hands together for Mr. Margarita for giving me that nice name. I need to find a name for you. I have grand mentor already. I want to give you a position. No, let me give you one free of charge. I will dash you. I'll dash you. Sponsor. Hey, round of applause for my sponsors. Put your hand together for my sponsor. Thank you so much, sir. So right about now, we're going to be having a general book launch once again. So I'm going to move into the crowd. If you like to publicly launch the book, and it's not because you want to show that you have billions of naira. You're looking at me because you have billions of naira. It's not just that. You might want to enlighten on what you want to do. For example, now, someone might go, my name is Corporate MC Farmer, proudly sponsored by Mr. Magari, and I want to launch this book with 500,000 naira in my mind. Why? Because I want to donate it to so schools or do something. So it's to encourage another person to see from that perspective. So you're not doing it just for show, actually. You're doing it because you want us to know the intention. So, okay, I'm buying 200 copies for people in rural areas and social places. I'm buying for this particular set of people. I want to buy for some people in government and ensure they read it. I want to buy for essays or PA. You understand? So that might be the reason why you want to officially publicly launch. So I'm going to be taking the mic around now for anyone who would like to publicly launch the book. Where should I start from? Good morning, sir. Afternoon, sir. How was your night, sir? How are you doing? How is the weather? All right, sir. Nice to meet you, sir. Okay. I wasn't. Just that I thought that was batch one. Then there's like a batch. Round of applause for you. All right, let me start from here. Would you like to launch publicly, sir? No. All right. So just would you like to launch publicly, Farm Tribe? You don't want us to now reach you. Why is she laughing? You want to? Oh, I'm nice. Like 200 copies. Pass. All right, so who would like to launch publicly on this table? Thank you so much, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Chief Kola Akoshile, representing Agbetutu. This is a very nice occasion. We've been opportunity to work with the corporate farmers. Agbetutu is nothing but a transformational digital approach to sustainable agricultural development. And what we try to do is to, enable young agripreneurs to come up with their skills. I have about 3 or 4 of them here. Dudu is a young guy, agripreneur. That's him. Clifford, Shesi. We have them all over, the federation. And what we try to do is to create the necessary platform to enable them, exhibit their interest and their desire in taking agribusiness, not agriculture now, to the next level using technology. And these are youths who are, below the age of 25, 26, 27. So the issue is to now, use the rise of digital agriculture to move to the next level, for them to see how they can earn good money. I used to be the president of the Chamber of Commerce for the Southwest. And as a national member of NASIMA, we'll be launching this book with about 100,000. We will also ensure that each of the Chambers of Commerce will have a copy of this book in their offices all over the nation. So the issue is to have the reach so that we can have an idea about digital agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Round of applause for you once again. Thank you so much. We're going to be launching a book with a sum of 100,000 naira. Thank you. Who else would like to launch the book publicly? Would you like the book? Okay, so thank you so much, sir. Just raise your hand. I can come to your table. All right. Okay, you're ready. All right. Who else wants to launch on this table publicly? All right. All right. Thank you so much. Is there anybody wanting to launch it publicly or something to say? Not, are you sure, sir? Sir, I like your cap. Your cap looks like the cap of someone that would like to launch, like maybe 1.5, 2.5, All right. I'm still moving on. Good afternoon, ma. How are you doing, ma? Would you like to launch publicly? No. All right. What about you, ma? I like your smile, ma. The smile is giving me like a vibe like 2 points. 2 points. All right. So, from Sterling Bank. Please put your hand together for Sterling Bank, ladies and gentlemen. Join your hands together for Sterling Bank. Amazing, amazing. They're about to shock us now. We are not going to expect what they're about to say now. Shock us now. I'm shocked. All right, thank you so much. Wow, amazing. He asked me not to loud it, but then my vocal cords could not just contain. Wow. I want to launch my live too, actually. I don't know, you can just help me. Put your hands together for Sterling Bank, ladies and gentlemen. All right, finally, on this table, do you have anybody that wants to launch publicly? Oh, you've already launched via paper. Nice. So on behalf of me, myself, and I, my unborn children, and of course, unborn grandchildren, I'm going to be launching this book, honestly, with an undisclosed amount. Put it together for me now. Ladies and gentlemen, right about now, I'm going to be bringing up for the vote of thanks. It's been such an amazing experience having us here. Once again, my name is Oluwatosin Aina. I'm also known as the corporate MC. You can search me on Instagram, kindly link. When it comes to your event, I'm the person to call, because when you call me for an event, it definitely gets better. Everybody enjoy. You won't even remember you've not eaten. Look at her now. She don't remember that she has not eaten. She just said, this MC. He was going to do our, Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome the programs manager, Sheung Oguyemi. Round of applause for Sheung Oguyemi as he comes to give us the vote of thanks. Please, we have prepared the table before you, in the presence of your friends, So do not rush. Don't rush home. We have different, I don't really know their names, but I'm hoping that you'll tell us the names of those. I can see some green, red, orange, lilac color. I'm anticipating. Round of applause for Mr. Sheung Oguyemi once again.
All right, thank you very much. Though I won't be the one to call the names, and I'm just here to give the votes of thanks. First of all, I want to appreciate God Almighty for helping us to pull this through, because we started around November last year and we were able to achieve this great height. So let us put our hands together for God Almighty. And also to appreciate our online audience. I don't have the record with me, but we had people join us online, both on Zoom and also on YouTube. So we really appreciate them. Some joined, and you know how it is in Nigeria. And most importantly, we appreciate all our speakers. We really appreciate you. When I was discussing with my Oga, getting all of these people, not really easy. And also our keynote speaker, Mr. Bolaji Akinwaro. The first time we met was at Abuja during the Sterling Bank Agribusiness Conference. So it's really nice to meet you again, sir. Thank you very much. And we already have the table set before us, really. So, and we will usher, our guys is going to usher us to the place so we can take our lunch. And we really appreciate you, and God bless you all. Thank you very much.
It's a round of applause for him as he goes to sit down. So we've come to the gather, and we're just going to get it. Yes, to those that have joined online, thank you thank you so much for joining. One of my friends, funny enough, I put it on my status quite late, I think like 30 minutes into the event, but one of my friends joined from Ukraine. Thank you so much. He's a student in Ukraine. Thanks so much for joining, and quite a lot of other people too joined us online. Thank you so much. Once again, if you want to have my number, you can just wink at me. I don't know how to wink. Apparently, it's a rich people stuff. Only rich people know how to wink. Thank you so much. Please, can we have the ushers? Are we going to be standing up to? Wow. So could you give us very lovely background music? And obviously, before we go, please kindly introduce yourself to somebody. In the course of this event now, I have a sponsor, I have a grand mentor. By the time we're seen next, you see that my life would have been transformed.